home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here. This is Rob and I's last show for 2025. We're going to take a couple of days. We're going to rest up. We're going to relax. We're going to spend time with family. We'll be back next Monday to recap the entire regular season in the National Football League. We'll know all of the playoff teams and matchups and all of those things. But you know what? We got one more show left in 2025. So why don't we make the best of it? I told you guys yesterday that we were going to go through some of my favorite stories that we had throughout the course of the year. Oh, we're really doing it today. We're not taking any of these stories with us to 2026. We'll have new stories, fresh stories. But this is the last day that we can go back and talk about things like this.
A couple's 7-year-long love story. They tied the knot in May of this year, but it was quite the journey to get there. Luke first proposed to Sarah back in 2018. They had only been dating for 6 months, and Sarah wasn't ready to take that next step, but they continued dating. Luke went on to propose. I feel like you need to sit down before I tell you this.
I'm sitting.
He proposed 43 times.
I'm about to stand up and walk away.
43 different times before she finally said yes. Some of those proposals involved castles, horseback riding, many fancy restaurants.
Can you imagine laying next to a person who you have communicated to them that you want to spend your life with this person, you love this person, and you can't see a future without them, and they told you no 40 consecutive times? Rob, I don't even have the math right here in front of me. How often, how frequent are you proposing if you were in a 7-year relationship and it took you 42 times to eventually get a yes? I mean, you're proposing every 6 weeks. You're proposing every quarter, and the person keeps telling you no. This is not a story of persistence. Not at all. This is not a story of somebody who stayed at it and eventually broke through. This is the story of a sad, lonely man. And trust me, we got a day full of those kind of stories here on The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Rob is here taking you up until 6 o'clock. Again, this is our last show in 2025. Happy to be here with you. I need you guys to do me a couple of favors as we wind down the year. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I don't need you to do any more work than you already are doing. No one wants to be at work this week. Nobody. Me, you, Rob, nobody wants to be at work this week, but we're here. We got to. You got bills to pay. You got a mortgage to pay. So you don't got to do anything for me. Just make sure that you have a happy and safe holiday. And number three, and most importantly, remember that the open of the show each and every day is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. Stop in, grab yourself a bite to eat, grab yourself something to drink. We got college football playoff games. We got NFL elimination games. We got a busy weekend in the world of sports. Rob, this is where I would like to begin the show today. I'd like to begin the show with this. There is no MVP in the National Football League this year. Well, Carrington, what about, yes, that includes that individual too. If you were telling me that we have narrowed it down to Matthew Stafford, who is having a phenomenal season, I don't want to act like Stafford is not having a great year. Right now, Matthew Stafford is the quarterback of the 6th seed in the NFC. That's who we're giving the MVP award to. Or on the other side of the coin, it is giving the MVP award to Drake May, who has had a fantastic sophomore season. But does anybody think that Drake May has been the most valuable player in the league? Does anybody think that he has been the best player at the league? Do you think that Drake May has been the best quarterback in the National Football League? No. I understand that every year we have to give out an MVP award, but sometimes the MVP is very obvious who it is. Oh, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes this year. Oh, yeah, it's Lamar Jackson. It's Tom Brady. It's Aaron Rodgers. Those guys have been a cut above the rest. That has not been the case this year in the National Football League. Neither one of these guys deserve to win the NFL MVP. So as I'm watching Monday Night Football yesterday, and I see Matthew Stafford throw 3 interceptions, and one of them was a pick six, and the Rams lose a game to the 6-9 hapless Atlanta Falcons. And as I watch Drake May this season play Buffalo 2 separate times, and Drake May did not throw a touchdown against the second best team in his own division, I am here to tell you that this year we should just take a break from the MVP award. The same reason how every year we don't need a dunk contest in the NBA, and some years it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we here? I feel the exact same way when it comes to this year in the MVP. Now, Rob, I know you are going to look at me very funny, but if San Francisco ends up being the 1 seed, Christian McCaffrey was the most valuable player this year in the National Football League. He leads his team in rushing. He leads his team in receiving yards. And for a team that basically had 2 quarterbacks split time throughout the course of the season, Mac Jones made 8 starts and Brock Purdy has made 8 starts so far this season. The one constant in their offense has been Christian McCaffrey. Now, I understand they are not giving Christian McCaffrey the award, and this has not been some all-time great running back season from him either. But if we are saying who was the most valuable and important to their team's success, if San Francisco gets the 1 seed, then I think the answer is Christian McCaffrey. But we decided a long time ago that only quarterbacks can win the award. So these are the 2 quarterbacks that we get this year. I mean, you can't give it to Bo Nix. You can't give it to Trevor Lawrence. You can't give it to Sam Darnold. Jalen Hurts hasn't played well enough. Oh, well, we got to hand it to one of you guys. Let's give it to the second-year quarterback as we were trying to build him up and make him a more interesting story. That is clearly how the story is going to go. But I noticed something as I was getting ready for the show and I was going through their numbers. You cannot make a Drake May was a better quarterback this year over Matthew Stafford argument. Matthew Stafford has thrown 12 more touchdowns than Drake May. He has fewer interceptions this year. He has a higher quarterback rating. He has clearly been the better quarterback out of those 2, even though I think Drake May is now going to win NFL MVP. I realized it. In the same way that we have no clarity when it comes to the MVP conversation in the National Football League, we have no clarity on really anything. You know what I determined after watching this past week in the National Football League? Every team is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles could absolutely win the Super Bowl. None of us would be sitting here the Monday after the Super Bowl and stunned that Philadelphia was in it and or won the Super Bowl. I don't know how you could be. You won it last year. You've got a quarterback who has navigated this path before, a head coach that has done it. You certainly have the talent and the defense. No one would be surprised if Philadelphia is the last team standing. Philadelphia right now in the first round of the playoffs would also play the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, and no one would be stunned if the Rams went to Philadelphia and beat them in the first round of the playoffs. Now, you might be saying right now, Carrington, you can say that about everybody. No, you're right. If you remove the 2 playoff spots that are up for grabs in the AFC North and the NFC South, every team is the Philadelphia Eagles. Every team from Denver all the way to Buffalo could find themselves in San Francisco for the Super Bowl. Every team that we have talked about as a playoff team this season could also lose in the wild card round in absolutely heartbreaking fashion. Would anyone be surprised if the New England Patriots lost to the Buffalo Bills at home in the first round of the playoffs? I don't know how you can be. Buffalo just beat them in their building 2 weeks ago. Would anybody be surprised if the Los Angeles Chargers went on the road and beat Jacksonville in the first round of the playoffs? We just talked about Philadelphia and the Rams. Right now it's lining up. That could be the 3-6 matchup. The 2-7 matchup in the NFC could be the Bears and the Packers, 2 teams that played incredibly close in both of their matchups this year. And you could argue that Green Bay should have swept Chicago if not for a bobbled onside kick by Romeo Doubs. Every team is the Eagles. Every team is Buffalo. Every team is the Los Angeles Chargers. None of these teams are good. No team is the favorite. No team is the underdog. No player is the NFL MVP. We're just watching football this year for vibes. And which one of these teams can lock in over the next month and limit turnovers, limit mistakes, run the football effectively, get after the other team's quarterback, play great defense? Whichever two teams figure out a way to do that the best over the next month of the season, those are going to be the ones watching Bad Bunny at the halftime show. That's it. That's where we are in this year in the National Football League. None of us know anything. We've been sitting here now for 4 months. We've been watching the NFL. 4 months we've been watching them. None of us have any answers when it comes to any of these teams. You like somebody. I like somebody. You think this team stinks. I like that team. None of us knows. My guess is just as good as yours because we have no information on these teams. I think Philadelphia could go to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're good at all. Their quarterback has had 2 games this season in which he has thrown for 0 yards in the second half of the game. How is that even possible? How can you be the starting quarterback, have Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and you can't complete a pass in the final 30 minutes of the game? It makes absolutely no sense. We'll continue to talk NFL. This is our last show of 2025. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
It's funny how one little light can stall out your entire day. I was already running behind, and now this, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, check engine light. What do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. When I got there, they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. They were quick, clear, and took care of everything. Next time my car glitches out, I'm heading for Telly. Don't let that little light be game over. Take it to Telly.
Home remodeling shouldn't be stressful. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and West Shore Home is proving it doesn't have to be. With real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy, they make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. That's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to transform their bathroom, windows, and doors. Plus, right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free and lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But you need to schedule now at westshorehome.com/fan.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circus Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
My dad was killed by a drunk driver on Thanksgiving. Supposed to go over and I made him a cherry cheesecake.
My father and I were hit by a drunk driver and he was killed. We were driving home from Christmas shopping.
Driving impaired can forever change the holidays.
Just 2 days ago, I caught myself trying to call him.
Christmas is definitely not the same because you know that he's not going to be there.
Always drive sober. A message from the Kansas Department of Transportation and all the victims of impaired driving crashes.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game. Put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
All right, welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Today is our final show of the year. I'm going to be off the rest of the day, or rest of the year. Rob is also going to be off the rest of the year. We planned on doing shows the entire week if the Chiefs were in it, but the Chiefs are not. And I love being here with you guys. I think you know that. But coming in here on Friday to help break down Chiefs and Raiders, the boss man just said, no, you're good. Rob, you know, I didn't have any scheduled days off. I was locked in. I was ready to go. But then the Chiefs got eliminated on December 4th. And then it was, well, I don't know what to do. Then they just told me I had to take the days. Use them or lose them kind of days. I didn't really have a choice in the matter. We're going over some of my favorite stories of the year. Now, I don't know if I would put this one in my favorite news story, but this was a story that I remember had the text line all hot and bothered.
When Lily Moding and her husband first installed this basketball hoop for their 2 young boys, they thought it would be a way for their family to stay active and healthy. They never dreamed it would become a source of neighborhood drama and the subject of lawsuits and legal action from their neighbor.
I have lost so much sleep over this. It's been so stressful.
Lily says about a year ago, new neighbors moved in next door and raised concerns about the location of their basketball hoop. The Modings discovered it was about 6 inches too close to the property line, so they had it moved with the city's approval.
We had to move it to where you see right now, so that is fully approved by the zoning board.
But it didn't end there. The neighbor filed a restraining order against Lily's husband, which was dismissed with prejudice. They've now filed a civil lawsuit against the family and the city of St. Louis Park, all stemming from this hoop.
I have a sense of dread because we've just been under attack for a year.
The neighbor also asked the court for a temporary injunction to prevent the boys from playing basketball in their own driveway throughout the summer months, citing safety concerns and that kids are trespassing by fetching balls that bounce onto their property. Lily tells me they set limits on what time their kids can play.
Like 20 minutes and then they're off to do something else. So we truly don't feel like we're being unreasonable about any of this.
Now, I did reach out to the neighbor who is behind this lawsuit for comment about all of this, but haven't heard back.
Rob, you were telling me that we got people, adults that live among us, that are trying to stop the kids from going outside and playing. You know how many parents right now that are listening would love for their kids to have a joy to want to go outside in the driveway, in the street, and shoot some hoops? I mean, that was a rite of passage. You know, you get the little $100 basketball goal in the street. You know, you get some sand to weigh it down, maybe a cinder block. You run a little 3-on-3. You got to pause when a car comes through. I mean, that's a rite of passage for a young boy and girl. And now we're trying to block the youngins from going outside and playing. Anything that gets you off the iPad and gets you off the Nintendo Switch and gets you outside with some fresh air, I'm all for it. These kids don't know what it's like to drink from the garden hose. You don't know what it's like to be outside riding bikes all day, outside playing basketball, hooping. You're a little thirsty. And no, you're not getting the high quality Fiji water. No, you got to go on the side of Tim's house and grab yourself a drink. Why are we trying to take these opportunities away from the youngins? Can you imagine you go to the court and you're trying to file an injunction so these kids can't play basketball in their own driveway? I think we throw the term Karen out for almost everything now. Like almost anything. Like you could order 12 wings. They bring you 7 of them. You say something to don't be a Karen. Well, hold on. I paid for 12. I want the wings that I paid for. We call everybody a Karen. This is what the Karen was originally. People are minding their business, having a good time, not bothering anybody, and then somebody goes and then tries to get the police to come in and stop them from having a good time. That person is a Karen. Leave those kids alone.
This story was one that blew my brain. We did this earlier this year. The fact that they filed a lawsuit against the husband of the people at the basketball court. Good job by the courts to dismiss that. They're now claiming trespassing because the ball goes in their yard. Just let the kids play basketball. Now, if the kids were playing basketball at midnight, I'd be on your side. But hey, I don't want the kids playing basketball at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday in the summer. Stop it. Just let the kids have some fun. I cannot believe this is what happened. It's not just it's one thing to be mad about it. It's another thing to be filing lawsuits and injunctions. Just crazy.
If this woman lived in the Kansas City metro area, not the St. Louis metro area, what part of the city do you think she would live in?
Right where the K's going to go, Leawood.
Okay. I didn't know if you had a North Kansas City joke there. I wasn't sure. I was trying to see where you was going with that. I don't want no end of the year fisticuffs. You my guy. I didn't know when you said right where the stadium was going to go. I didn't know if you've been watching this Square Park. I didn't know. I was uncertain. Somebody on the text line said, hey, are you guys going to talk about the Diggs story? Well, yeah, we're going to talk about the top story in the league. You know what? Why don't we just do it now? I got a very loose rundown today. I'm going off vibes today. Did you guys know that Stephon Diggs is in another legal situation? Now, this is all alleged. I want to be clear. I don't know. I wasn't there. I can only go off what the internet is saying. Now, this person is a reporter with WBZ. That is the breaking news outlet out in Boston. That's their CBS News. So that's like their KCTV5. New details and allegations against Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs. He is accused of hitting and choking a woman who was allegedly working as a private chef for him. According to newly released court docs, the woman was asking for money owed to her, which enraged Stephon Diggs. Text message in court file below. Now, this is what I read earlier today. This incident happened in early December. Diggs and this woman were trying to reach a private agreement. I'm assuming something was unable to be reached. And in my opinion, somebody leaked the court documents to try to make Stephon Diggs settle. That's what it sounds to me like what happened. My brother, what is going on here? There is not a human being that has had a more tumultuous 2025 than Stephon Diggs. We don't got to go too deep into his personal life, because that's that man's business. But we know about some of the off-the-field dealings, and now, as you're the best receiver on maybe the best team in the National Football League, your team's a potential 1 seed, you got a chance to go to the Super Bowl, you got a chance to have a great year, have 1,000 yards, you're having a fantastic season, you're in a relationship with one of the most famous celebrities in Hollywood. Bro, you out here running off on the chef and allegedly striking this woman? This is stupid. Please suspend him for the entirety of the postseason. I say this as somebody that has a Patriots future bet. I hate the fact that Stephon Diggs is in this situation. He costing me money. But obviously he was costing that woman money. I don't understand why celebrities do this. Why do celebrities feel like they don't have to pay? I feel like 40%, Rob, of celebrity stories are celebrity receives a service and now they don't want to pay for the service. You wanted a driver, the person drove you around, and now the person's like, hey, when am I going to get my funds? And now you acting funny with the money. You asked this person to come cook for you. The person came to cook for you. You know what you owe them. Just pay. That's all you got to do. Just pay. You got the bread. You got the money. Just give the person the money and go on about your day. Or if you got an issue and you think they overcharged you, that's why you got a contract with this individual. Handle it the legal way. Why are you talking crazy to this woman in the text messages? At least according to this, I can't even read it. It's so inappropriate what Stephon Diggs was saying to this woman. You know they're only going to release the most explosive text message conversation. Why are you cursing out and arguing with this woman that you clearly owe some money to? Now, I don't know if it's $30,000, maybe it's $100,000. I don't know how much money you owe, but you clearly owe the woman some money. Give her some money. If anything, roll over and ask your girlfriend for the money. She got it. Y'all got it between the two of you. Rob, this is nonsense. Stephon Diggs, this is stupid.
Listen, I can only go on what has been reported so far. But the idea that the chef asked about payment or was discussing payment and this enraged Diggs just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, again, there could be circumstances, variables at play that we don't know. So far, the story is what? 4 hours old? So a lot can change. But the idea that paying your private chef for a private event enraged you just makes no sense to me. Pay them. Now, you're right. I know we just made fun of the Karen in St. Louis who was doing legal battles or a basketball hoop. But if you feel like you were charged for X and didn't receive service X, you know what you and your girlfriend can afford? Legal help to get out of this problem. It should not be enraged to the point where you're allegedly fighting someone.
And if you're Stephon Diggs, and again, I'm not here to get into that man's personal life. You can Google that man's personal life. I'm just assuming with what we know, you've dealt with lawyers in the past. You should have a lawyer on retainer. Hey, I'm having a discrepancy. Me and this person reached an agreement. I can show you we reached an agreement. I was scheduled to pay her $5,000. She's now saying I owe her $50,000. Can you go handle that? That's why you have legal counsel, to go handle things like this. I'm not arguing with you. If you got a discrepancy with me about the money, this is who you need to contact. You need to contact Peter. At this number, he will handle this the rest on. I'm focused on what I need to do to help my team win a championship. Bro, you out here smacking and choking people before the playoffs? You're an idiot. Allegedly. I don't know if he did or he didn't, but allegedly, that's the case. Now, let's talk about his brother. I don't know as much about this situation as I know about the Stephon Diggs situation, but I would just say this one thing. This was the most obvious situation in the world to see coming. Stephon Diggs, you know what he is? He's the baseball player that hit 7 home runs, and then 1 year woke up and hit 41 home runs, and now you paid him as a power hitter and you disregarded everything else that he's done. Trevon Diggs had one great season as an NFL corner. I mean, it was a really good season. Don't get me wrong. He had 11 interceptions back in 2021 and had 2 pick sixes. I mean, he was phenomenal. He was an all-pro player, a Pro Bowler, phenomenal. Rob, how many interceptions would you say that Trevon Diggs has had since that season? So since he got 11 interceptions in 2021, he has now played 4 years in the league. How many interceptions do you think he's had since then?
It's going to be a crazy low number. So I'm going to say 4. 1 a season.
6.
Close.
He's had 6 in 4 years and hasn't had another return touchdown. That year was fake. And we should have known that year was fake when in the following season, he went from 11 interceptions to 3 interceptions. We should have known right then and there. Oh, that's an anomaly. That's an anomaly. I think we saw in 2021, he was a guy that gambled, had great ball skills so he could break on the ball. And once teams realized that he bites on everything, trying to chase interceptions, he started getting barbecue chicken alert is what he started doing. This was not hard to see with Trevon Diggs, not at all. Now, some team's going to pick him up. Now, I'm not interested in picking him up on his current contract, but if you're going to pick up Trevon Diggs and you're going to claim him as a free agent and he can help you in the postseason, yeah, why not? Pay him the veteran minimum, and if he can help you, cool. If he can't help you, then no worries. But, I mean, you don't get a chance to add a player like this who has made 2 Pro Bowls and is 27 years old. You don't get a chance to add a guy like that right before you go to the playoffs. Hey, even if you don't know the defensive scheme, just play man. We're going to put you in man-covered situations. Don't worry about zone. Don't worry about our calls. We're either going to have you blitzing the quarterback or we're going to have you playing man against somebody and see if you can hold up in that scenario. This is a no-brainer dice roll if you are a contending team, if you don't have to assume his contract. I assume that nobody is claiming him off waivers. That makes him a free agent. If you think he's healthy, I'm bringing him in and I'm seeing if he can help us do something.
I agree. Someone's going to take the dice roll, but that dice roll is going to look a lot like Melvin Gordon's time with the Chiefs. Now, if you've forgotten Melvin Gordon's time with the Chiefs, it was because he sat in the practice squad every game and watched in street clothes. The Chiefs took a dice roll on a washed running back. It didn't work out. But the stats you just laid out, why would you put him out there? He's barbecue chicken alert.
Barbecue chicken alert.
I mean, someone's going to take the dice roll once he clears waivers, but I don't know he's going to play a meaningful or a singular snap period this upcoming postseason. This reeks of who's a meddling team. Not bad, but meddling. We usually use the Saints, for our example. Let's use the Saints.
We always use the Saints. The Saints are actually playing kind of good football the last couple of weeks, so the Saints haven't been that bad. The Saints are going to be a very popular team in 2026 to make the postseason.
That's their division, too. But let's just say the Saints will pick him up to a future contract, and then he'll get cut in August. That's what his future holds. I don't think he's a postseason player.
I think he's playing in the postseason.
I don't think he's picked up by a postseason team. I don't think he plays a snap.
I think what you're going to see is no team is going to claim him on waivers, and a team is going to sign him specifically for the postseason. And if you can help us, cool. But it's no money. If you're going to pay him the veteran minimum, it's no money for you to pay him for the next 4 months of work. None. To me, there's no reason not to ask Trevon Diggs if he thinks he can help you in really any capacity. So today we are going to go through some of my favorite stories that we talked about throughout the course of the year. I told Rob to pull a handful of them, so boy, do we have a lot of them. Now, I want to be very clear before we play this next story. I don't have a problem with tipping. I really don't. I know we laugh and we joke. I don't have a problem with tipping. But I do think there has now turned into a sense of entitlement when it comes to tipping that I just don't want to be a part of.
90% of Americans now believe tipping culture is out of control. That's what a new Wallet Hub survey found. Many believe businesses are shifting the responsibility of employee compensation onto customers through tips instead of paying employees a living wage. Now, consumers have reported feeling pressure to tip workers, including at counter service restaurants, self-service kiosks, and even medical offices. So what do you think? Is tipping culture out of control?
All right. I already know the text line, oh, you're just being cheap. Oh, you're just being cheap. Okay, that's fine. We have now reached a point in American society where they are asking you to tip for everything. Almost any service that somebody does for you. Oh, you want to leave a tip? No. Why? What am I leaving you a tip for? Wait, you're telling me that I called in the order, I then drove in my car to come pick up the order, and now I got to give you a tip for what? Because you cooked it? That's the deal that we've reached. I'm coming to your establishment to buy food. I understand if I'm sitting down and I'm taking up a table and somebody is waiting on me. You want me to give you a tip at Five Guys for what? The burger's already $9 anyway. You want a tip on top of it? I got to tip the Uber driver for what? I agreed to a price on the app that I want to ride. Now I got to leave that person a 5-star review. I got to leave them a tip. We're asking a lot here. I'm serious. I know. Oh, Carrington, you're being cheap. Okay, that's fine. 90% of Americans are on my side. I don't mind tipping. You go to a nice restaurant, you sit down, they take your order. I get it. I'm happy to tip. I'm happy to tip on certain things. Hey, the guy comes out, he cuts your grass. Hey, you did a good job, man. Here's a little something, something. I don't mind doing that. There's an expectation for you to tip at almost every single turn. Hell, even at the grocery store, they ask you to leave a tip now. They're not asking it for the workers, but they always, hey, you want to leave $1 to Teamsters? No, I don't want to leave $1 to Teamsters. No, I'm not giving harvesters. I just spent $132 in here. Now you want another $1 or $2? Why don't y'all donate $1 or $2 to the Teamsters? It's getting ridiculous. You're probably a part of this, Rob.
I am not a part of this. I will say, when tipping culture first started getting bad, I was pro-tipping. I feel like it was around COVID time. Hey, I was first-team All-American. Hey, I'm coming to pick up the food, but you are a frontline worker. You're a restaurant industry person during COVID. Here's a tip. It's 2024. I did all the work. It's on the website. It's on DoorDash. I got to come in and pick it up. I'm sorry. When I go get my Chipotle, I'm not tipping. When I go get my whatever, I'm not tipping. There are definitely times where I will tip. If I'm at a restaurant and I get good service, I'm tipping. If I'm at a bar, I'm tipping. But the kiosk ones, no. The self-service ones, no.
Bro, sometimes I don't even understand the bar. Let's say that you get a bottle of beer. Like, let's say you and I, a couple of days ago, we went out to the other place and watched Thursday Night Football. I got a bottle of Miller Lite. A bottle. You didn't pour it. You didn't get me a cup. You didn't get a draft. You reached in the beer fridge. You opened it. You handed me I got to give you a tip off the Miller Lite bottle? There's an expectation now that I owe you $1? Well, let me go back there and get it. I'll do it. You didn't mix me a cocktail. You handed me a can of beer. That's worth $1 now for you to hand it to me? All I'm saying is we're asking for a tip on everything. I'm serious. We're asking for a tip on every service that somebody does for you. There is now an expectation that you need to tip that person. I'm sorry, it's too much.
I will say my least favorite part, it's not just the tipping. It's when they hand you the little thing that has your card in it. They're like, hey, it's going to ask you a question. Well, I know what the question is, and it's in your hand. You can see me clicking yes or no on the tip. There's like this social obligation getting bullied into it. Hey, it's going to ask you a question. Like, I have KU season tickets. I talked about before. I go get a hot dog, and it's like, hey, it's going to ask you a question. You handed me a hot dog in foil. I'm not moving from 864 to 10. No.
For sure. I'm telling you.
And you can see I'm clicking no, and they stare at me like I'm in the wrong. I'm sorry. No, I'm not tipping on a hot dog at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yo, I'd be so mad. Like when you go to like a Royals or a Chiefs game, hold on here. You're telling me that I already know you're finessing me. You're charging me $7 for this thing of popcorn, and now you're asking if I want to give. No, the billion-dollar company that you work for needs to give you this tip. I'm serious. What I feel like is happening is they don't want to pay their employees, so now they have passed on we need to pay their employees. That you only want to give Sally $8.25 an hour, and your hope is that I'm going to get her up to a $17 an hour because a $2 here, $2 here, and now you can make a livable wage. No, why don't you just give them that from the very beginning? We shouldn't be applauding Taylor Swift giving random people at the Chiefs money. Clark Hunt should be giving random people at the Chiefs money. He should be walking around handing $600 out to random employees. Why the customers got to be tipping? That don't make no sense to me. I'm all for helping out our people. I'm serious. I don't want anybody to make it seem like I'm not pro tip. Yes, help people out. I get it. I'm happy to tip. We've gotten extreme when it comes to it. Everything you do, there's an expectation for a tip now. Every single time. It's like, bro, why am I giving you a tip for? I got to give you, you want me to add an extra 20 cents here at Quick Trip? For what? I walked in here. Just hand me the lottery ticket. Why? I got to give you an extra 20% for that? Don't make any sense. I'm serious. It doesn't make any sense. We'll get back to the NFL coming up on the side. Rob, why don't we do this? There's 3 more important football games in the NFL regular season. Now, we got a whole postseason. We got 3 games left in the NFL. Why don't we go through those 3 games and give you guys our thoughts? Keep it right here. It's The Drive. It's our last show of 2025.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode too. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log in to BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Missouri only. Existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hi, I'm Becca, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As an in-house designer, I can't wait for you to see our incredible selection of stylish and stackable rings. If you're shopping for your wedding bands, we have high-quality designs for every style and budget, from romantic to modern. If you're looking to add to a stack, your options are endless. Discover styles with clusters of gemstones, sleek all-metal designs, updated cigar bands, and signet rings perfect for an engraving. Because a friend knows you like options. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Expect mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 43.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
The Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2 Enrichment Grant is providing one local high school $20,000 to use on upgrades and equipment. Open to all area schools and no strings attached. Take a minute to tell us what your high school needs at helpmymocanschool.com, and we'll announce the winner January 4th on the Chiefs Radio Network.
Hey, it's Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. I got some soapbox issue things that I want to complain about before the year is up. I would say that I'm going to try to be a more positive version of myself in 2026, but I don't want to set myself up for failure. I'm sure by January 8th, I'll be complaining about something new. So I'm just to keep being who I am and accept that's who I am in life. I want to go through these 3 important games that we have going on. We just have 3. Now, I don't want to fully go into my complaining yet. And I know that some of you, your stance is as long as football is on television, you are going to be watching it, and the NFL is your favorite show. I'm telling you right now, we never needed Week 18 in the NFL season. We didn't need Week 18. Well, Carrington, look at the games that we have. Well, Seattle was always going to play San Francisco. They're in the division. They have to play each other twice. Carolina was always going to play Tampa Bay a second time. All of these games at the end of the season are divisional games that were happening anyway. We have not added anything to our football experience. It's just more. But I'm not ready to completely get on my soapbox just yet.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis.
I was like, hold on, what happened? I was like, I know I heard that. I was like, what happened? Rob canceled me. I was like, well, I was confused. I was like, was I on the air? I was very confused there for a second. All right, Rob, let's start with this. Can you tell me why Tampa Bay is favored? Can you give me an honest answer, watching the National Football League, why a team who has won one time since Halloween and they are 1-7 in their last 8 games. Can you tell me why they're favored against anybody in the last month of games? Tampa Bay has lost to all other 3 teams in the NFC South and also went on the road and lost to the Miami Dolphins, who have very little to play for. Can anybody explain to me why Tampa Bay is favored in this game when, in my opinion, they have done absolutely nothing to be favored in this game? Carolina is better than they are. Carolina just beat them a couple of weeks ago. They are playing better and a more consistent team. We got to let go of Tampa Bay and the team that they were in week 5. We got to let that go. That's not the team that's currently playing for them anymore. I know we like Baker Mayfield and they got guys on their team that we know, but I'm here to tell you that that team is like the Grinch. Stink, stank, stunk. That is an awful football team. There's no reason for them to be favored in this game. They got to beat somebody else. Yes, I will take Carolina plus money. Maybe I end up being wrong, but Mitch Holtz has said this yesterday. You can't turn winning on and off. You can't lose every game for the last 2 months and now tell me when it really matters you're going to figure out a way to win. No, you ain't been figuring out this whole time. This division was right there for the taking if you were Tampa Bay. There's no reason for Tampa Bay to have a losing record, not with the schedule and not with the division that they have given the talent. I know they had injuries. Everybody in the National Football League has dealt with injuries this year. There's no reason for Tampa Bay to be the favorite in this game. Give me Carolina on the road.
I agree with you, and I'm not trying to defend the logic here because I fully believe you are correct. Is it as simple as Vegas doesn't know what to do with the Panthers? Because I think the Panthers are better than the Bucs, but are the Panthers good? And to win in the NFL on the road, you kind of have to be good, or you have to be playing just the dregs of the NFL. Like, the Panthers look better. They've won some important games recently. They looked bad last week against a team that I think is very good in Seattle. Came into Charlotte, thumped them. It feels like Bryce Young is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, whichever one you consider the good one. He's that, and then the next week he's the other one. The Panthers are not a great team, and I wonder if, hey, we think they're mediocre. We think the Bucs are mediocre. The Bucs are at home, and they have the pedigree of winning. We're going to favor the Bucs. I'm not saying it's good logic, but I'm trying to construe a version of life where it looks like the Bucs are favored at home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I think you're probably right. That the public, if you were telling me between those two teams, I like Baker Mayfield, I don't know Bryce Young. This one team has offensive weapons and pieces that I do know. They made the playoffs the last couple of years. Yeah, the public still thinks very highly of Tampa Bay when they have been given no evidence of why they should think highly about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is losing this game and firing their coach at the end of the – that's what our Monday conversation when we come back is how Tampa Bay finished the year 7-10 and why Todd Bowles is out and how desirable is the Tampa Bay job. I'm here to tell you that's how the story ends for them. On Saturday night, we have Seattle and San Francisco. Man, it is funny how wasn't Sam Darnold in this exact same position last year? Like, I'm not crazy, right? We lived through that. This time a year ago, wasn't Sam Darnold in a game where if he won, his team was going to be the 1 seed, and if they lose, they were going to be the 5 or the 6 seed and then go on the road in the postseason? Like, I'm sure that happened. Very simple when it comes to Seattle. I can't say it any more simplistic than this. Win this game, we will believe in you. Lose this game, no one will believe in you. They're the favorites? Okay. I'll take San Francisco plus money at home and feel very, very good about it. Better quarterback, better coach, better weapons, a more diverse offense. I'm surprised in a game that really means everything that Sam Darnold is the favorite between he and Brock Purdy for seemingly no reason. I know that people like Seattle right now. They're the betting favorite in the NFC to represent them in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Seeing is believing with Sam Darnold. I'm on the other side. Give me San Francisco. I think they're going to be the 1 seed. I think they take care of business.
So first and foremost, I want to get this off my chest. Why did the NFL put this game on Saturday night? This is the best game of the weekend.
Not even close.
I don't know why Ravens and Steelers, because of the lure and the AFC North and Smash Mouth football and blah, blah, blah,
this
blah,
is the argument I think I could make.
This game's better.
I agree with you, though. But I think the argument would be is there's still a safety net for one of those two teams. If San Francisco loses, they're not out of it. They're just going to be the wild card team. Same thing for Seattle. That is the only game in which it is 100%. There's only one possible outcome. The winner makes it to the playoffs, and the loser is out of it. So it's the only true technical playoff game. It's really the unofficial start of the NFL playoffs. So I'm with you. I'd much rather watch Seattle and San Francisco if those are my two options. And I do agree with you. That's the game of the week. That has to be their logic. It could be Aaron Rodgers' last game, and it's the only true win or go home scenario in Week 18.
I mean, I guess. Last year, you mentioned Sam Darnold was in this exact same situation. Last year, Vikings at Lions, winner's the 1 seed, loser is a 6 seed, 2 14-2 teams, Sunday Night Football. This year, very similar circumstances, Saturday night on ESPN. It just feels like that game got relegated to a spot it shouldn't be. I am going to tell you this. I have been buying Seattle stock all season long. I like their head coach. I really like their defense. They do a lot of things well. I thought they were DOA in that Rams game. They came all the way back and won. You do not want to face that team in Seattle. I think Seattle's going to go win this game. I think Seattle's the better team, and the only reason people like you or national media types or whoever are doubting the Seahawks is because they're quarterback. But Sam Darnold is not that much worse than Brock Purdy. They are, if you were to do a tier system of quarterbacks, they're on the same tier. Neither one of them are Mahomes or Allen, but they're probably in that second tier. Maybe you trust the Niners more because they're at home, but I like the Seahawks get a win, and I think Seattle could be a real problem if you have to go to whatever the name of that field is now up in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle fooled me once. Sam Darnold has fooled me once. You can't be fooled again. I'm not being fooled again when it comes to them. Sunday Night Football, the last game of the regular season, Ravens and Steelers. To me, this is the who cares bowl. I mean, I don't really care. Honestly, the only intrigue for me in this game is what happens to the losing coach. That's the only intrigue for me. If Mike Tomlin and the Steelers lose this game at home, and they had 2 chances to win their division at the end of the season, and they lost to Cleveland, who has absolutely nothing to play for, and they lose at home to the Baltimore Ravens with still no clarity on if their starting quarterback is going to be there, we know that the fans have grown restless with Mike Tomlin, and is there going to be enough pressure from the fan base to do something with him? That's the only intrigue for me in this game. Sure, we'll watch it. It's an NFL playoff game. It's on television. I mean, it's really the only game of real intrigue on Sunday, so you got to watch some football on Sunday. But yeah, whichever one of these teams is losing in the first round of the playoffs, so what does it really matter?
And again, not trying to be on my soapbox for the last show of the year, but this game might not even have Lamar. I mean, Aaron Rodgers at 41 against Snoop Huntley is more exciting than Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy. Just, you're right. I'm more excited about Monday morning than I am about Sunday Night Football. Let's see if Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh have a job, because a week from yesterday is going to be Black Monday in the NFL. It's firing day. You think Todd Bowles going to get fired? I think the loser or even maybe the winner of this game is fired, and then we're going to have, if it's John Harbaugh, an offseason of, well, what do you do with Lamar? Does he get along with Coach X conversations? And the Steelers are going to be maybe in full rebuild if they fire Tomlin without Rodgers. Like, the intrigue in this game to me is just what team is a week away from the offseason, because both are offseason intrigue. Again, we don't have to belabor it. I don't understand this game Sunday Night Football. Snoop Huntley and Aaron Rodgers at 41, pass. Pass.
You know what? It won't be a whole lot of that in the game, what you were talking about. It will not be a lot of that. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're really excited to be joined by Dave Helling. He works with the Kansas City Star. I want to talk to somebody who can speak to the money when it comes to the Star Bonds and how Kansas is going to fund the stadium. A lot of people think that Kansas got a bad deal. I'm curious how Dave Helling feels about that. We'll do all that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on, like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
I am really happy to be joined by our next guest. He has been speaking a lot to the money and the financial agreement between the Chiefs and the state of Kansas. So I want to have him on and ask questions and learn more about it. He is Dave Helling with the Kansas City Star. Dave, how are you doing? Happy holidays.
Pretty good, Carrington. Thanks for having me on. I've hit the big time.
Absolutely. So, Dave, let's just start with this. I'm sure by now you've read the 33-page term sheet agreement between Kansas and the Chiefs. What were your big findings in reading that?
Well, it's a pretty complicated document, and there's a pretty complicated mechanism for actually buying the land and building this stadium in Kansas, one of the things your listeners should know is that it's not final. The 33-page document says in the first couple of paragraphs, hey, we've still got details to work out, and until we work them out, this thing isn't finished. And then it proceeds to explain how the mechanisms will work. So that's an important thing to know, that they're still working on parts of this. And then the other things that I noticed were, of course, government ownership of the stadium. That means the Chiefs won't have to pay property taxes on that facility, and they're going to try and figure out a way not to pay property taxes on the facility in Olathe, the practice facility and headquarters. The mechanism for star bonds, how that works, who will issue them and when. That was in the 30-page or is in the 33-page document. And then the other important thing your listeners should know, the cities and counties involved are also going to be asked to kick in some money as well from their sales taxes. That hasn't been finalized at all, and the agreement, the term sheet, outlines how that needs to still take place. And then, of course, just to finalize, it also had the now notorious district map, which showed who would be on the hook for these sales taxes to pay off the bonds. And it includes most, if not all, of Wyandotte County and about half of Johnson County. And I tweeted that out about an hour after the announcement, and so far it has 730,000 views on Twitter. So people are interested in how this is going to work and how much money, if any, they're going to pay for.
Right now, we're talking to Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star. We're going through some of the financials of the agreement right now between the Chiefs and the state of Kansas. You mentioned how in the first couple pages of this agreement, it says, hey, this deal is not final. I've seen some reporting that the state of Missouri could get back into this thing. Is there any reason to believe that Kansas and the Chiefs won't finalize this deal and that the Chiefs won't be in Wyandotte County in 2031?
No. Now, the Chiefs in Wyandotte County, that's a separate issue, in part because there could always be construction delays or financing delays. Although, to be frank, it's hard to imagine the Chiefs going back to Jackson County and saying, hey, we're leaving, but we need another couple of years at Arrowhead to make it work. But I don't think there's any possibility at all that Missouri would get back into the discussions for an extension on that side of state line. In the first place, they're furious about what has happened, and the state of Missouri particularly is going to be angry about it. And second, it's just impossible, really, for Missouri to match what Kansas has done for the teams. So I think that, they're going to spend the next couple of months negotiating the details. And then once that's over and they get a final document that describes all the conditions, then the Chiefs will buy or lease the land over on the Wyandotte County side. They'll transfer it to the government entity that will be created to oversee all of this, and then we'll be off and running. So I don't think that Missourians should take some solace in the idea that it isn't finished yet. It's just very, very hard to see how Missouri would come up with anything matching Kansas, or that Kansas would backtrack having made this announcement.
A lot of people have commented on this being a bad deal for the state. And my open yesterday was, this is the agreement that American cities have made to have NFL teams. And people can be mad and frustrated about it. But if you want the Chiefs, if you want the Royals, if you want to have professional sports in your city, it largely requires you to kind of reach one of these agreements with the team in order to have it. So I understand if the terms don't seem super favorable to the state of Kansas, but I also don't think that Kansas has a lot of leverage in this situation. You have an opportunity to have an NFL team. You are the smallest state that would have an NFL team. You are going to have to give up a substantial amount of money to take them away from Missouri.
Yeah, I think all of that is true. And I would add one other thing. I think that there is a case to be made for this agreement to Carrington. It's too bad that Governor Laura Kelly and the Chiefs don't know how to make that case, because they've said things like, oh, it's no tax increase, which is silly. But the case is that Jackson County and Missourians broadly and Kansas Cityans have carried the freight for two professional sports franchises for half a century, almost by themselves. And it is probably time for Kansas to pick up the burden of at least one of those franchises, maybe for the next 30 or 40 years. I mean, Kansans, who of course enjoy the Royals and Chiefs, have been getting off scot-free, really, scot-free is an exaggeration, but they certainly haven't paid as much as Jackson Countyans and Kansas Cityans and Missourians for those teams since, the 1970s. So the case is that it's Kansas' turn. And I wrote a column the day after the vote failed in April of 24, saying maybe it was time for the Chiefs to look at Kansas for that exact reason. So you're exactly right, though, to say that this is the price of poker, particularly in cities like Kansas City or Minneapolis or Cleveland or Indianapolis or some of the middle cities in professional sports leagues. Los Angeles can support a couple of stadiums or have people wealthy enough to build them out of their own pockets. But that just isn't the case here. So that's the case for it. Now, is this the best deal Kansas could have gotten? We'll have to wait for that judgment. I mean, because it's so hard to know what the Chiefs would have settled for in the end. They're going to get every dime they can get, and they got a lot of dimes. Let me tell you this deal. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, how the bonds are issued, whether the cities and counties join in on participating in the bond setup, how the stadium is built. One of the things I tweeted about today, and this is an interesting wrinkle that I haven't seen reported on, is, as you know, in Jackson County, Jackson Countyans get preference for playoff tickets and season tickets, and for the Royals too. That preference is written into the current lease. But we've heard no talk about that in Wyandotte County or Johnson County. So my guess is that goes on the table as well, whether there will be some sort of ticket preference for those residents because of their support. But the case for me has been that Kansas has basically been a free rider for a long time, and you can make the case that this agreement finally puts them on the hook for some of the cost of having the pro franchises that we both enjoy.
Right now, we're joined by Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star. We're talking about the money portion of the Chiefs moving over to Wyandotte County and the deal between the state and the team. Dave, I want to go back to something you said. You called it silly, where the governor is saying that this is not a tax increase. Why did you use the term silly?
Well, because, first of all, it's foregoing future tax revenues for at least 20 years. Now, just think for a minute how much money that involves and how that money might be used in Kansas in another way, and that has to be made up somehow. If you said, I've used this analogy before, but if you said, hey, I'm Kansas, I figured out a way to buy cotton candy for every person in America without raising taxes, your first reaction would be, well, isn't there something better to spend it on than cotton candy, even without a tax increase? So the tax part of it is less important than the spending part of it, which will be easily, when you include interest, $3 billion by the time it's over. That is a lot of money coming from the pockets of taxpayers, even if there's not a tax increase involved. Remember, the April 2024 vote also did not include a tax increase for the Chiefs and Royals. It just extended an existing tax. And there was a great debate at the time whether that meant a tax increase or not. But the more fundamental thing is public spending for a stadium, for a sports franchise. That's what we need to focus on, and not whether there is some accounting trick to make it look like there's no cost to citizens when there clearly is.
Dave, one of the wonders of my job is I can just spout off my opinion, and I love talking to people like you because you're a big J journalist. You've been doing this a long time. That's why I got a lot of respect for you. I don't think that the Chiefs ever wanted the vote to pass in Missouri. I felt like their entire renovation plan was really, really half-assed. And then when I now find out that they have been working with Olathe behind the scenes for 2 years from this practice facility, I think they were always positioning themselves to go over to the state of Kansas. Is that how you view this? Do you kind of view this was always the plan for the Chiefs, that they were always going to take the money and run to Kansas?
Yeah, you may be more convinced of that than I am. First of all, you talked about, Carrington, how long I've worked on this story. I produced a 1-hour primetime special for Channel 4 in Kansas City on the Chiefs and Royals stadiums in 1988. So that's how long I've been following the story, whatever that math would be, and the twists and turns, which fascinate me as a political reporter. But I don't think I think it has been and was well known that the Chiefs were looking for a new practice facility and a new headquarters separate from either an improved stadium or a new stadium. So it doesn't surprise me that they had been talking with Olathe for a couple of years, irrespective of what decision they were going to make on the stadium. Now, when Missouri put its incentive offer on the table, Missouri said, hey, look, if we give you this money for a new or improved stadium, you have to build your new headquarters and practice facility in Missouri. And at that point, I think it sort of forced the Chiefs' hand because they really wanted to go into Johnson County potentially for this adjacent facility. So I don't think they're completely linked, but you're right to be suspicious. The April 24 vote was just really a disaster, wasn't it? Because it was, on the Chiefs' part, half thought out, rushed. It didn't really add anything to the discussion. And then the Royals' decision to build in Crossroads at the last minute really angered a lot of people. And I think Kansas Cityans and Jackson Countyans are ready to help support franchises. They understand, as you pointed out, this is just what you have to do to play poker. But they don't want to endorse half thought out, half realized plans, and both teams in 24 just weren't ready. So I don't think that they always wanted to go to Kansas, but when that vote happened and then the Missouri package came up, I think that sort of pushed them closer to whatever Kansas could offer. And then, of course, Kansas came in with this unique tool that can really put a lot of money in their pockets.
Dave, I'm so happy you said that because I led the show with this yesterday. I still firmly believe if the Royals at spring training come to the people of Kansas City, Missouri, and Jackson County with a solid and clear vision for downtown baseball, I think people would rally around it, especially now after knowing that the Chiefs are going to move. You want to keep one of the teams on this side of state line. I think you could really capture people's imagination. But you're right, at almost every single turn, it felt like the Royals just tripped over themselves and couldn't accurately communicate what their vision is. They now have had 2 years to think about this thing. The next time that they talk to the Kansas City public and the next time they talk to Jackson County, if they have all their ducks in a row, I still firmly believe that people will support their vision.
Yeah, I agree with that. And trust me, there were conversations had 2 years ago with officials in the Chiefs and the Royals organizations telling them they had to be more transparent about what they were doing. And for whatever reason, they just weren't. That's not how politics works in any city in America in the 2020s. You have to be upfront and clear with the public, or they'll just say no. And it's exactly what happened in 2024. And I've been disappointed, frankly, with the lack of transparency since then. But I think there's still a chance for the Royals to do something special. And I do think Missouri will be potentially very aggressive in trying to keep the team on the Missouri side. Having said that, I think Laura Kelly missed a real opportunity at the announcement for the Chiefs to say, in essence, this is it. We're not going to bid for the Royals anymore. This really is far out on the limb as we want to get, and the Royals should make their deal with Missouri. That would cut the cost to Missourians and maybe ease some of the hurt feelings that people now have about the way this was handled. And, as you know, the opposition to the Kansas site for the Royals is growing daily from residences and business owners at 119th and Knoll who are saying, we just don't want a big baseball stadium in this location. So she didn't do that, and I think that was a missed opportunity. But I think it's and by the way, the informal deadline for reaching a deal with the Royals for Star Bonds is tomorrow, December 31st. Now, that's an informal deadline, but it's the deadline the Chiefs faced as well. So if we don't hear anything today or tomorrow about the Royals going to Kansas, it's possible that any deal in Kansas will be off the table anyway. So I think Missouri is still very much in the running for the Royals. I've said for a long time, I still like the East Village site. I think that the need to attract East Side residents to baseball games is important. One of the sites I talked about, which has never been really examined to a great degree, is over by Lowe's Hotel and the Performing Arts Center near the West Side, where we have so many Latino players now on the Royals that would help draw a Latino audience. But you are hearing 18th and Vine. You do hear Washington Square Park, north of the river. All of those seem pretty valid opportunities. Just quickly, your listeners should know, if the Royals stay in Missouri, the local government is required to participate in some way, some tax abatement, some participation in the package, unlike in Kansas where local participation is optional. So there will likely be, if they stay in Missouri, another vote either in North Kansas City or Jackson County for the Royal Stadium. And if they're going to do that in April of next year, by the way, they have to get it on the ballot in the next 4 or 5 weeks. So the time frame is crunching, and we should know more about the baseball team within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it seems to me.
Right now, we're talking to Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star, going through all of the possibilities of where the Royals could potentially land. Dave, I always thought the East Village made the most sense for the Kansas City Royals. Why did that deal never come together? And I don't feel like it's ever really been discussed. It feels like right now we are arguing between 3 locations. 119th and Knoll, which I'm with you, I just don't think is a very good location for them. I'm not wild about the Clay County idea as well, but you could sell me on it. The vision for the Royals is downtown baseball. It has just always made the most sense, but I don't really feel like there's been a lot of traction there. What happened to the East Village idea?
Well, I'm retired now, Carrington, so my journalism is a little bit suspect on this part of the story. But what I was always told was that the East Village fell out of favor because the Royals, as you may know, talked a lot about a surrounding baseball village to the new stadium with hotels and restaurants and bars, and they were going to make some of their money from the development around the stadium. And it was my understanding that the Cordish Company, which runs the Power and Light District, was not real excited about having a competing entertainment district just 6 blocks away. That was also their concern about the Crossroads site, by the way, which is, we don't want to have more apartments and more hotels and more bars. Now, the Cordish people never confirmed that, but that was the understanding that circulated among the people I talked to, that it was opposition from Cordish early on that caused the Royals and the city to move away from the East Village site. I still think that's the best place to put it, frankly, but if they go downtown. But they're not listening to me very much.
Dave, I don't know if you're a gambling man. If you had to offer up a prediction, where do you think the Royals' future home is going to be?
Well, I think it's Missouri. I mean, I'm not a gambling man, but if I had money to bet, I'd bet on Missouri. I think Missouri will be much more aggressive to put the agreement to paper with the Royals. And frankly, I think Kansas is less aggressive. I think Kansas always targeted the Chiefs. They just, for a lot of reasons, probably preferred pro football to pro baseball. I think one of the discussions early on was to put the Royal Stadium out where the Chiefs, in essence, will go, and that, for whatever reason, fell off the radar. So I think it's more likely than not Missouri. I think it's going to be complicated to get there because there are a lot of financial tools that need to be ironed out and figured out before that happens. and the calendar is getting short. I mean, if you want to be out by 2031, which the Royals do, and next year is 2026, you're not going to have a lot of time to mess around before you have to put pen to paper and start laying bricks. So I think in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we'll see some clarity. I still think it's Missouri. If I had to guess, I think it's downtown Kansas City in the Jackson County area, but that seems less certain to me than the Clay County option. But I think the Royals are beginning to understand that if they want to build at 119th and Knoll, they're going to face some pretty serious opposition, a lukewarm state of Kansas, difficulty on that site. I just think there are more hurdles there than they've admitted.
I told Mayor Lucas this when he came on the show after the announcement. I think you saw a lot of this. Like, a lot of people are disappointed. And you know this as somebody who's covered politics and sports in this region for a long time. Like, people's identity is tied up into whether you grew up on the Missouri side or the Kansas side. Sure, we are all from one metro, but it's just different. And it's hard to explain it to people who are not from this area. If the Royals end up moving to Kansas too, people who are from Kansas City will be broken in a way that I'm not sure if the politicians fully understand. So to everything that you were saying, I think it now becomes imperative. If you are Mayor Quentin Lucas, this will be on your resume and there's nothing you will be able to do about it. But you have a chance to still salvage this thing, and you have a chance to be the person who brought the Royals downtown. You were never going to do anything about the Chiefs, in my opinion. But if the Royals go to 119th and all, the people of Kansas City and Jackson County, they will be broken beyond repair, in my mind.
Well, that's pretty aggressive, Carrington, but it will be a severe blow. Now, whether Quentin Lucas bears the blame is an interesting question because, of course, the deals the teams have now are with the county, not the city. The city really isn't involved other than to send a couple of $1 million a year to the maintenance fund. But having said that, though, you're right on the politics of it. People will probably blame Quentin Lucas, certainly more than maybe Frank White, who they kicked out of office, or Phil Lavoda. So I think I think the mayor will work hard to try and put a deal together. There are facilities and mechanisms that would allow it to happen. Missouri is at the table in terms of a significant financial package for the Royals, and the Royals have much more of an impact financially on a community than the Chiefs do. The Chiefs play 10 games a year. The Royals play 81 games at their stadium. So that's more money for the bars and restaurants and hotels than the Chiefs could ever generate. The Chiefs, about 800,000 people a year go to those games. That's about a third of how many attend the Royals in a good year. So when they play well. So I just think all the arrows point to downtown Kansas City, Missouri. I could be dead wrong. Have me on in 2 weeks, and I'll have to admit that I was way off base. But I think that seems to me more likely than the alternative, which is 119th and all, and another $2 billion in star bonds and another press conference and another explanation from both sides about what happened.
That is Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star joining us on the show. Dave, I'm really big on giving people their flowers. As journalism is changing, we need more people like you in the way that you conduct yourself, in the way that you have reported on this. It was really, really an honor to have you join us on the show today to tell us what you know. Tell us what you think.
No, it's great. And let me just throw this in quickly. I'm fully retired. I write a little bit for the Kansas City Star, but I'm not with the Kansas City Star anymore. I don't want them to get mad at me, but I did work there for about 20 years, and as I say, I've covered this issue for 40 years in this community, and it's such an important story because you're right. This is how we identify ourselves, and it's how, Carrington, we come together. There are very few things left that unify our community as much as the Chiefs and Royals, and so what happens to them is at the top of the agenda as far as I'm concerned.
That is Dave Helling joining us on the show today. Dave, happy holidays. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. You too. You too.
Absolutely. That is Dave Helling joining us on the show today. Some very, very interesting things from Dave Helling. We'll react to it coming up on the other side. This is our final show in 2025. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5. The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew a Halloween costume would change my life and lead me to Renner Garage Door? Renner's KC's go-to team for service, repair, and replacement.
RENNER, RENNER.
My dad was killed by a drunk driver on Thanksgiving. Supposed to go over and I made him a cherry cheesecake.
My father and I were hit by a drunk driver and he was killed. We were driving home from Christmas shopping.
Driving impaired can forever change the holidays.
Just 2 days ago, I caught myself trying to call him.
Christmas is definitely not the same because you know that he's not going to be there.
Always drive sober. A message from the Kansas Department of Transportation and all the victims of impaired driving crashes.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
This new year, I'm planning a cozy night in with friends, great conversation, and an easy spread that still feels special. And Hy-Vee makes it effortless. It's my one-stop shop to get it all done with everything I need to make that perfect charcuterie board. They've got great cheeses and meats and olives and nuts and crackers and everything that I need, including bakery breads for dessert. I'll also swing by Hy-Vee's huge selection of wine and spirits where their knowledgeable staff helps me find just the right pairing. Make one stop to ring in the new year, only at Hy-Vee.
It's the new year, and even if we can't roll back time, Hy-Vee is rolling back prices on all your meat department favorites. Stock your cart this Friday through Sunday. There's no limit on specials like boneless pork loin, 3 for $5, ground beef just $3.99 a pound, specialty brats, 8 for $10, and marinated boneless chicken breasts, $1.99 each. Stock up your freezer and stack up the savings this Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode too. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log in to BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Missouri only. Existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Part of the right lane is blocked by a stall 435 eastbound down at State Line. Scoot to the left through there. Pleasant Valley, that's a stall causing backups in the right lane. 35 southbound just before 69. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to say a special thanks again to Dave Helling for coming on the show. I thought it was really, really informative. Someone sent this in over the course of the interview. Carrington, I dare you to ask Dave to say one good thing about the Chiefs' move to Kansas. Well, the purpose of having Dave on was to talk about the business deal between the two sides. And I'm sorry, and I'm not saying this as somebody who hates that they moved over there. Yes, I am Missouri, Jackson County through and through, but I've told you guys this. I've always thought that they were moving to Kansas. It was by far and away the best financial deal. I don't really know if there is anything good to say about the business deal between these two sides other than it keeps the team in the region. The Chiefs got everything in the deal. So I think they stay in the region is just sort of the point that everybody is on the same side of. Maybe you are one of those Missouri people mad and angry. Man, you will eventually get over it. Sure, you got to drive 25 minutes in the other direction now to go to the stadium, but you still have an opportunity to go to the games. They're out by where you've gone to a NASCAR event. They're out by Sporting Kansas City. Everybody in the city at some point has bought something from Nebraska Furniture Mart. It's the best place to buy furniture in the city with the widest selection and the best prices. So people in Missouri will get over it, but that was the deal. Hey, you give us all of these things, and in return, we stay here. So I don't know if we can have a single business person on, whether they're from the area, not from the area, a neutral observer that read through the 33-page term sheet. I don't know if we can find a person that can tell you overwhelming positives in this, because I don't really know if they exist other than you get the team, which is an obvious overwhelming positive. That's number one. That's the thing I cared about the most. I mean, I don't want the Royals to go to 119th and Null, but if the options are 119th and Null in New Orleans, well, rock chalk if those are the two scenarios that we got. So, yeah, I don't know if you can talk about the business deal between the two sides and then tell me how great of a deal it is for Kansas. I don't think it's a great financial deal for Kansas, but you get the Kansas City Chiefs. It's your job to now figure out how to maximize the opportunity of having an NFL team in your state.
That's the part, and Dave was fantastic, and you can catch on the podcast page. That's the part that I think that the business side can't really account for now because it's an unknown. You know, what the Chiefs moving to Kansas means for the state of Kansas based on like hey, now so-and-so is staying at Kingdom Plaza at the Hyatt at the Kingdom Resort as opposed to downtown. Like those things are the trickle-down effect of having the Chiefs. We can't answer those things because we don't know what events, what games, all those things are coming to Kansas. But right now, The Chiefs got everything they wanted. Long term, I imagine Kansas' hope is by getting the Chiefs over, we gain in the long run. That's how this deal basically came together. I also think what Dave said was important here. He made it seem like putting the practice facility as part of the ballot in April was a real killer for the Chiefs in Missouri, because the Chiefs have always been kind of openly thinking about leaving from a practice facility point of view, and that may have been a real problem on the April vote.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. And the other thing, and it goes along with what I said, and I'm not just referencing this because Dave, I guess, agrees with me, is I'm sorry. There is only one location for the Royals that will make us as a community happy. I do not think that people are excited about the 119th and all idea. I don't think the community surrounding where the stadium is going to be, I don't think people on Missouri are excited about the possibility of driving over there for a Wednesday game. I don't think the 119th and all idea is a good one. In fact, I think it is the worst idea that they have. I don't think that people want the stadium to be there. I don't think people want the stadium also to be in some random location off K10. I don't think that changes any of their problems that they currently have as an organization. The only idea that will excite the public and get people fired up and looking forward to the stadium is if they put it somewhere in downtown Kansas City. Now, I don't know if anybody could disagree with what Dave said. Their first plan is bad. It's bad. It was not a good plan. Their plan was give us the money and allow us to figure it out. I don't think you can come to taxpayers who paid more in property tax, who are paying more in inflation, who can't afford to buy a home. I don't think you can go to those people and say, hey, we want more of your money, and even if you don't like the plan, give it to us. I don't think that works. But I will maintain this until we are done with this conversation. If John Sherman in 3 weeks comes to the people of Jackson County with a clear and concise and community-supported idea for a downtown stadium, I think Jackson County would pass the vote. I firmly believe that. There was not a single community group on board with their idea. I know we have put all of this on KC tenants. They were not the only people that were opposed to their idea. The people in the Crossroads didn't want this. I don't think the public, I don't want the stadium to be there. I mean, I'd rather it be there than in Kansas, but that's not where I would put the stadium. There's other places and other ideas of where to put it, and I just think they have to find it, and maybe it takes a little bit of time. Maybe the Royals don't get what they want, and they got to stay at Kauffman Stadium past 2031 and stay there till 2032 or 33. The stadium's not falling apart. The extra 2 years are not going to kill you. You get one shot to get this right. This is your home for the next 30 years. So make the right decision, and don't just run to 119th and all. There's only one part of the city that will get people fired up about where the stadium is. There's only one. And I agree with them. If you're Missouri, if this don't get you up off your ass and get something done, then nothing will. You've already lost one team. If this can't motivate you to get a deal done and motivate you to get all of your ducks in a row and come to the Royals with a plan of how to pay for their vision, then all of you deserve to be fired. All of you deserve the blemish that you'll have. Mike Kehoe, Mayor Quentin Lucas, Phil Lavoda, Frank White, all of you deserve it. It's go time now. You got to figure out a way to keep the Royals on the Missouri side. It's that simple.
I 1,000% agree with you. And right now, a common sentiment on social media, on the text line, among fans is, there's a frustration that Clark Hunt took the money. If you think there's a frustration from Chiefs fans with Clark Hunt, let the Royals leave. That frustration will be cranked up 10, 15, 20 times higher, but it won't be cranked up on John Sherman. It will be on every single politician on the Missouri side. Mayor Lucas, Dave Hellig pointed out that the city doesn't have really a lot of impact. It doesn't matter. He's the face of the city. He's going to have to hold the L. Frank White got fired. Doesn't matter. He's going to have to hold an L. Phil Lavoda, welcome to the job. If you don't keep the Royals, you're going to have to hold the L. Governor Mike Kehoe. There's probably people behind the scenes in Jackson County that I can't even name right now that are part of this situation. It is going to be a massive failure, and fans are going to be irate with all of those politicians if the Chiefs leave and you can't get a deal done now with the Royals, because the Royals are the only game in town. You should be able to give them everything they want and more. But if you can't get that done, all of them have to hold L's.
Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, my brother, stadium talk day in and day out. Can we talk about the Royals offseason possibilities? The Royals ain't doing nothing. No, I'd much rather talk about the stadium than the hypothetical outfielders the Royals can get. I'm sorry to tell you that. You know whose fault this is? This is not my fault. It's the football team's fault for being eliminated on December 4th. That's their fault. I didn't have anything to do with them being the most disappointing team in the National Football League. Someone on the text line just sent in, isn't that what Frank White thought about the April 2024 plan, however poorly articulated by him? Absolutely. This is the analogy I make for Frank White. And some of you have been in this situation with a woman before, or a partner, a spouse, whatever. It's like when you keep suggesting somewhere to eat and they tell you they don't have an appetite for it, but they never tell you what. I don't think that Frank White was wrong, honestly. I think Frank White was right. I think the Royals' plan was bad. Does anybody know what Frank White's plan was, though? Can anybody right now articulate to us what Frank White's plan was to keep the Royals and Chiefs in Jackson County? Because I have no clue what it is. None. I have zero clue of what his plan was. So, yeah, if you are going to tell me that this plan is bad or you don't want to eat at this place, all right, when I offer up some more suggestions, you better come with some help or it's usually going to cause a fight and an issue. So that's what I think Frank White's problem was. If you were opposed to the April 2024 plan, a lot of people were opposed to it. It's your job to come up with a plan that people love, that people can help pass, that excites your county, and Frank White did none of that. Coming up on the other side, we'll continue to get to some of my favorite stories of the year. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Hey, it's Brian Baldinger. At the Home Depot, Makita tools are built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts, who know the job's only done when it's done right. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year, performance that pays off. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best, available at the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Ready for action, hockey fans? BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is giving players another reason to lace up and hit the ice this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to the goals, the checks, the face-offs, and the breakaways with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, all throughout the hockey season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
You know the rush when you reach that goal? When something you've worked for pays off? That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Brought to you by Gomers. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com. If ringing in the holidays includes cheers and libations, Gomers has your back. Voted #1 KC Liquor Shop, they offer a wide variety of beer, wine, and spirits at great prices. Stop by one of their 5 locations. You'll be glad you did.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Part of the right lane is blocked by a stall 435 eastbound down at State Line. Scoot to the left through there. Pleasant Valley, that's a stall causing backups in the right lane. 35 southbound just before 69. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Someone on the text line asked this question. C-Dot, if you could trade the Royals for any other professional sports team, which sport and who would you trade for? I think there's only like 4 or 5 teams that would really make sense. Like, I don't think trading for the Lakers makes sense. Like, the Lakers are the Lakers because they're in Los Angeles, for example. Like, if they moved to Kansas City, they wouldn't be the Lakers anymore. Like, part of it is Jack Nicholson sits courtside, and the celebrity, like, yeah, they're not the Lakers if they move to Kansas City. I think it's like 5 NBA teams that would make sense. It's like the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, yeah, tomorrow, if you gave me the opportunity to straight up trade the baseball team that has had, I don't know, 5 good seasons in my entire life, and I could trade that for the Oklahoma City Thunder, in a heartbeat, I would do that. In a heartbeat, I would trade them for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But yeah, I think those are like the only teams there's no hockey team. Maybe you guys would want a hockey team. I'm okay. I would maybe go to a hockey game once a year if we ended up getting it. I would go to a lot of NBA games if we had an NBA team.
You should have just leaned in and been like, Lakers, Knicks. That's what I want. I want the Knicks. I mean, it's a silly question because...
No, I mean, but I'm saying is the Knicks aren't the Knicks if they're in downtown Kansas City. They're only the Knicks because they play in Madison Square Garden and it's Celebrity Row and the culture of the Knicks. That's why they're the Knicks. So I'm saying the Thunder are still the Thunder if they are in Kansas City.
That's fair.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are still the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, nothing really changes. There's no prestige with them. It's just cool to have an NBA team if that's the case. The Spurs are still the Spurs if they're in Kansas City. That is not the case if the Los Angeles Dodgers moved to Kansas. No, they're not the Dodgers anymore then.
I just think if we apply that to a lot of sports, you'd be shocked to see how many teams exist as a big thing because they're like the Yankees are the Yankees because of New York.
For sure.
I would say as much as the Mets are kind of laughing stock, the Mets are the Mets because they're in New York. They have the new state, the whole deal, same thing.
For example, one of the reasons why the Cardinals are so cool is a city of that size loves their team like they're the Red Sox. The fact that the Cardinals have been as culturally relevant as they've been for the last 50 years, despite the market that they are in, is a true accomplishment. There might not be anything like it in American sports. Maybe you would argue the Green Bay Packers, but the NFL is just kind of designed for everybody to have a chance. It's not really how baseball is. The fact that the Cardinals, Rob, have always been relevant our entire life in St. Louis, and they have had more success than the Red Sox, as much success as the New York Yankees in our lifetime. The fact that the Cardinals have been that good is remarkable. Like, maybe you could replicate that somewhere else, but I'm not sure if another community would support them the way that St. Louis has come out and made them the center of everything. There are very few cities in America that baseball is their number one, and St. Louis is one of those places.
Maybe this is an unfair comparison. Isn't Oklahoma City that way with the Thunder? Now, maybe it's different because it's a
They don't have any other
one-sport
choices,
town.
though.
Yeah,
Like St. Louis at one point had a football team, a hockey team, a basketball team, and they've always loved the Cardinals through all of those things. That is not the case in Chicago. As popular as the Cubs are, that's not the most popular team in Chicago. As popular as the Red Sox are, they're not more popular than the New England Patriots. St. Louis is the only place that I would say baseball is their number one favorite sport. I would say that basketball in New York City is kind of the thing. There might not be a city where the basketball team is the most popular team, where you would argue when the Knicks are good, the Knicks are the most popular team in New York City.
I mean, part of that's because the city's split with baseball and football, too. Like, you know, if New York's a unique market because, like, when the Jets and Giants and Knicks are all good, the Knicks are the unifying force. The other teams split the market.
Nobody cheers for the Nets. 100%. Nobody cheers for the Nets.
Honestly, you can put them on the trade list because the Nets do not have a culture at all. The Nets just exist. And you know what? They have a Jayhawk and a Tiger. They'd be great here.
No, I don't want them because the Nets, you know what? For the most part, they stink. Minnesota's good. The Thunder are good. The Thunder are like well run. The Thunder have been good for 15 years. Minnesota's been relevant for most of our adult life. That's not the case with the Nets. Please don't. The Nets are one step above the Charlotte Hornets. I don't want them. I'm not trading. We already got the Charlotte Hornets in Kansas City. Why am I trading for somebody else's version of that team? All right, this was a story that I really enjoyed that we did earlier in the year. This is a trend that people have.
Right, so there's this new thing blowing up on TikTok, and it's probably going to offend some of you. The trend is putting ice in your beer. I know this sounds a little strange, but the comments, they're kind of all over the place. So some people calling it a total game changer for a hot day or helping you to stay hydrated, while others calling it an absolute travesty since they're basically watering down the flavor. You guys, what do you think light beer tastes like? But what do you think? Is it genius or is this a crime against beer?
Hey, man. People out here are getting the Boulevard wheat with light ice. Come on now. That's crazy. I've never seen this before. I'm not saying people don't do it. I was, I do this all the time. No. You're telling me that you go to a place and you have them scoop ice out of the bin, put it into a cup, they go over to the draft, and then they pour you a beer? That's weird to me. That's incredibly weird if that's how you drink beer. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to imagine what situation you would be like, yeah, why don't you ice cold mug? Okay. But like, we just got over Christmas. I was at, a couple different houses, the in-laws. Glass of wine, I don't think a couple cubes of ice is weird. But if I was like, hey, can I have a space camper and ice it down for me? I'd be kicked out of the function. Immediately kicked out.
Someone on the text line says, I just got back from 2 months in Asia and ice and beer is standard there. I would have to ask for no ice. Very strange. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine you get an ice cold Boulevard wheat and then they put ice in it. That's nuts to me. It really is. That's nuts. Someone said, what about a shandy? I would say a shandy is a little bit of a different kind of drink. Like if you're telling me that you're putting lemonade in it and it's like much more of a sweet drink, I would say that it's more like a cocktail than a beer in that case. But you're telling me that I'm at a steakhouse and I'm drinking a Stella and you want me to with a beer on ice? No, thanks. I got no interest in that. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, are you going to replay Mario's call? I don't think you'll ever hear Mario's call again. Am I allowed to tell him what happened?
No.
I can't tell him?
No.
Well, all I'm going to say is everybody didn't find Mario's phone call funny.
That's a good way to say it.
Everybody didn't find parts of Mario's phone call funny, and some outside forces got involved with Mario's phone call. So I don't think you're going to be hearing not on this. You can maybe hear it on the internet. I'm sure it's still alive on the internet. You know Rob Management now. He can't even laugh and joke about it.
It's available on our Instagram, I believe, but it's not available over the air.
I'm telling you. At this point, if Mario's call plays again, I'm probably the one in trouble. It's not every time you get a phone call where somebody's like, hey, do you have the information for this person? No, I don't. I don't know anything about it. No, Moss, I didn't take the phone call. I had to remove myself from the group chat when it came to that. I had no parts of it. So, no, we will not be playing Mario's. In fact, Rob, delete it out of the system. I don't want to accidentally play Mario's phone call.
Poor Nathan got thrown under the bus. Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. This is the person that screened it. He's in charge.
For sure. I mean, the cops wanted one person's information. I gave him Nathan's. Nathan's the one that did it. I pointed to Nathan on the stand. I have nothing to do with that. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, How have we got to the point where now I have to defend Darren Peterson? Like, I really want to be the one that jokes and calls him Darren Porter Jr., but of course, now KU fans have to take one side, and now I got to be on the side of defending the kid. That's not where I want it to be, but I have to. We'll do it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
This is Wyatt Thompson from K-State, and you're listening to The Drive with CDOT right here on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Anthony Plumbing, technicians you can trust with your house keys. Still working a stall down at 435 eastbound and State Line. Right lane is blocked. Pleasant Valley, that's a stall blocking part of the right lane. 35 northbound just as you pass 69, scoot to the left. Time for with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park & Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I don't know why you guys put me in these positions where I have to be the voice of reason when it comes to Kansas basketball. I tell you guys this all the time. I'm sure I'll have to tell you this in 2026. I don't hate Kansas nearly as much as you guys think that I do. I really don't. I've never met Darren Peterson. I've never talked to Darren Peterson before. I don't know what reason I have to be against the man. He's never done anything to me. I haven't talked to Bill Self in probably 8 years. I don't have anything against Bill. Nothing. I don't dislike these people. When you do this job enough, you start to like people, or they're just neutral to you, or you just don't like them because you had some personal run-in with them. No one in Kansas has ever done anything to me. So I feel like when it comes to some of these topics, I am able to just step back and look at it the same way I can look at a Chiefs problem or a K-State problem. I'm not emotionally invested one way or the other. I want the kid to play. January would be more fun on the show if Kansas' best player was on the team. It would be better. I don't want to talk about the NFL draft 120 days out. I want Kansas to be viable. I want Missouri and K-State to be viable. So let's just get that out of the way for the last time in 2025. I don't care about that most of the time. Now, sure, there's times I want to see Kansas lose, but for the most part, I'm cool on them. This is the part that I don't really understand. And what kind of leads to that little, I don't know if rant is the right way to explain it. So somebody sent me this tweet earlier today. Schools have little incentive to pay big money to the top tier talent since that's still not enough of a guarantee that they'll play. I don't know why we are operating like Darren Peterson is not hurt. There is no evidence in college basketball of these top NIL guys simply taking the money and then deciding to not play. Who is the other player that you would say fits into this category? Cooper Flagg is a better prospect than Darren Peterson. As great as Darren Peterson is, if Cooper Flagg was in this class, Darren Peterson would not be the #1 overall pick. Cooper Flagg played last season, the entire season, and is maybe the best American prospect that we've had since Anthony Davis. Cam Boozer, people think he can be the #1 overall pick. He's playing this year. AJ DeBansta, another guy who could potentially be the #1 overall pick, he's playing. I don't know why we are now spinning it because things are not working with Darren Peterson. Oh, it's all these kids care about. That's all they want is the money. Well, who else is like this? This is not a rash problem. You can't tell me that it was bad for Cooper Flagg to go play basketball at Duke. It was not bad for them. It was not bad for him. It was not bad for us. I like the one and done rule. I like that it gives us an opportunity. I'm sorry that it's not working out at Kansas, but I don't think that Darren Peterson is fully healthy and able to play and now not choosing to play because the money's funny at KU. I think he's hurt. I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't know why. I do know why. I understand it. Your loyalty is to Bill. I think Bill Self has set this thing up poorly from the very, very beginning. And I have been saying this now for weeks. Bill Self should stop talking about this. And every time he talks about it, it gets worse. He did Hawk Talk yesterday. Now, I don't even know what station Hawk Talk is on. I don't listen to that nonsense. But he said that we're really, really close with Darren Peterson. Stop! Stop telling the fans that you're close with Darren Peterson. All it does is build up excitement. Stop talking about him. We're only going to talk about the kids playing right now. That's our stance. That's our official stance as Kansas basketball. Every time he does this, it sounds worse. Quote, it's unfair for people to assume the way something is because it's not like that. He hasn't been 100%. Just because he's practicing doesn't mean that he's 100%. Although, gosh dang, he looks good to me. He then says that Darren Peterson could return immediately or it could be a little while longer. What? So he could immediately come back or it could take more time. Well, which is it? Bill, stop talking about this. This is making it worse. When you come out and say that it's cramps, and then you come out and say that it's a hamstring injury, and then you tell us that he's 90 to 95%, but then he can't play, and then you say that his family is in the middle of it now, a lot of this to me is just the messaging from the head coach. If Bill stopped talking about it and said, when we have an update, we'll let you know when he can play, a lot of the temperament towards Darren Peterson would calm down. And I understand it in some ways. He's the CEO of a billion-dollar company, and you got to talk to the media and the press all the time. So you feel a need to say something. It is making the situation worse every time that he talks. I think Darren Peterson is hurt. I don't think there's any reason to not believe that he is not hurt. I don't think there's any reason to not believe that he is not trying to get back on the floor. This is not helping him. How can you argue that it's helping him? All of his contemporaries are playing at a high level and dominating in college basketball while he's sitting on the sideline with an injury. I don't know what it is with basketball players, but somehow I think we have made it where we don't think that basketball players are competitive. That we think you can get to this level of playing basketball. When all of us have played basketball at some point, we think you can get to this level where the University of Kansas offers you a full ride scholarship. We just think you get there, you're not a highly competitive person. Like you don't want to play, you don't want to compete, you're fine now. No, I want to play. I want to be the best. I want to win championships. I want to be the number one overall pick. Hard to do all those things while you're sitting on the sideline next to Melvin Council. It's tough to do those things. Why did you guys put me in a position? I got to be the Darren Peterson apologist. But I don't like the way that we're talking about this kid. I don't like the way that we're doing it. And I'm a little bit mad because I wish I could be on the other side and get my jokes off. I wish I could get my Michael Porter jokes off. But you guys have now made it not fun. It's not fun. I don't even want to do it anymore. I'm on the side. I want the kid to play. What, they play UCF, Tuesday? They play UCF next Tuesday. I hope that he plays in the game. I will continue to maintain that I hope that he plays.
They play Saturday against UCF and next Tuesday against TCU, which, what a gift of a conference opener for Kansas. UCF and TCU back-to-back. Carrington, I agree with you. I also think the injury the kid has
Hold on, really quick.
itself
Can I read this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got distracted. I'm sorry, Rob. Somebody says it's all about money, not competitive. Kids opting out of bowl games proves this. But the bowl games don't matter. The bowl games don't matter. The bowl games are not building towards something. Kids are not opting out of the college football playoff. No, kids who have a true future are opting out of the Pop-Tart Bowl. They should be opting out of the Pop-Tart Bowl. I've done everything I can for the university of whatever school you go to. So that's not a fair comparison to me. I just don't think you make the decision to go play basketball at Kansas and then you're making the decision to not play against Duke. Why would you do that? You're playing at Madison Square Garden against Duke. You just don't want to play? That doesn't make sense to me. You're telling me that your teammates are in Las Vegas? It's 30 NBA scouts there. Carmelo's sitting courtside. You don't want to play? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why we would think this is the case. I mean, we already seen the kid in the small amount that we've seen him. There's no question he can play. We don't think he wants to prove that on the biggest stage. You go to school to play in March Madness. You go to school to play in these games. You want to go on the road against NC State and Iowa State and shut these crowds up. That's why you decided to play college basketball. I just think right now there's a disconnect with basketball players and the public. Because if this was a football player, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. If you're not playing, there's a belief that you're hurt when you play football. When you're a baseball player and something's wrong, when you're a pitcher and you have some elbow tightness, we tell you to sit down because we know that elbow tightness could lead to you ripping your elbow up and needing Tommy John surgery. The moment Bill Self said this was cramps, Darren Peterson has been set up the entire time. Because cramps are something we've all had before. Hey, go eat a banana, go drink some Gatorade, you'll get back out there. When he labeled this cramps, I would say that there is a portion of the fan base that started turning on Darren Peterson and has turned on Darren Peterson every single game that he misses.
That part I 1,000% agree with you. That was my point going to be. You stole it right out of my mouth. I think the injury that Darren Peterson is dealing with lends itself to fans being hypercritical of him. I think it's unfair, but I think you'll understand the analogy. If Darren Peterson was in a walking boot because he broke his right ankle as opposed to dealing with soreness in his right hamstring, I think fans would be more supportive, appreciative, understanding of his injury. But soft tissue injuries are just a matter of his pain tolerance, his comfort, those sorts of things. And fans don't believe he's doing his all because it's soft tissue. But I do believe, right or wrong, and I think it's wrong, the injury Peterson is dealing with has led fans to believe what they want to believe with him because they don't see the injury. Where if he had dislocated an elbow, fans would feel a different way about it. But it's the soft tissue part that gets fans to believe these hyper conspiracy theories.
Yeah, someone says, CDOT, people don't like that college players have handlers now. They're holding on to the way it used to be. They always had handlers. They always did. Darren Peterson has a chance of making $500 million playing basketball. There's always people behind the scenes. Always.
They're less behind the scenes now. We know them now.
100%. Now you're negotiating salary with these people. You're negotiating salary with them. Again, I understand the frustration. Kansas is, I'm assuming that Darren Peterson, one of the 10 highest paid players in college basketball. And if he's not playing, I get it. I just don't know what reason we have to not believe that that he's not injured. I have no reason to believe that's not the case. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand. I think for sure he's hurt. Someone said blaming the NBA and load management. The public believes basketball players are soft. For sure, no question. I mean, I would say that load management happens in other sports as well. We just call it something very different. I mean, I've certainly seen a lot of baseball lineups that were we call them Sunday lineups in baseball. I mean, I would argue right now that a lot of teams in the NFL are currently tanking. They're just not calling it load management. The Chiefs have sat down 30% of their roster the last couple of weeks. That a lot of teams are doing it, but the NBA, I'm with you. The perception becomes reality, and the perception is that basketball players don't play through things. I just don't think you sign up to play basketball at Kansas, and then you're missing all the cool stuff about playing basketball at Kansas. I know it sounds crazy. The little bit of money that Kansas is paying Darren Peterson is a drop in the bucket to what he is going to make over the course of his lifetime. A drop in the bucket. Christian Brown's not a top 5, or he's not a top 50 player in the NBA. Maybe not a top 100 player in the NBA. He just signed for $200 million. All Darren Peterson has to do is not mess up his life, and he's going to make a minimum of $200 million playing basketball. Trust me, that $2 million that Kansas is paying him is it's a drop in the bucket compared to it. I'm playing basketball because I love it. I'm playing basketball because I want to do it. I think the kid would be going out there. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, a show that prides itself on getting it right.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Many men remember their first time. Not that first time. I'm talking about the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined that special moment. And if you're over 50, then the chances are then you've experienced this before. That first time can be frustrating. It can be a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. At Heartland Men's Health, that first time can also be the last time. Heartland Men's Health specializes in treating ED when the pills and herbals fail. With a success rate of over 90%, many men see results just after one visit. So your first visit is just $99, which includes a consult, lab work, and if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. So don't let ED define your sex life. Call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. You can also stop by and visit any of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Be sure to stop by Heartland Men's Health.
Hey, football fans, tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL. Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by the Home Depot. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita, available at the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
This is Dana Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dana Hughes. VG Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
The holiday season. So many plans, so many people, and some of them aren't used to drinking at all.
Guys, this is so fun.
So it can be awkward, like Roger from accounting.
Wow. I've never had eggnog that good.
You've never even talked to him, but now is the time. When you see someone who shouldn't be driving, like Roger, speak up. It's not awkward, and it doesn't have to be a big production. This holiday season, speak up for a sober ride.
Brought to you by Save Mo Lives.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Any size darn good coffee, just 99 cents with Casey's Rewards. Limited time only. See store for details.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college football playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Ride with the favorite, take a shot on the underdog, or build a parlay, then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel's the best place to get into the football action all playoff long, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college football playoff profit boost today. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maxed wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew a Halloween costume would change my life and lead me to Renner Garage Door? Renner's KC's go-to team for service, repair, and replacement.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
We've had a crash with a car fire, so big delays. 2 left lanes are blocked now. 435 southbound just before 70. Scoot to the right. Shawnee, that crash in the clearing stage is off to the shoulder, so you are unwinding, but wrecker on the scene. 35 southbound just past Lamar. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm going through some of the news stories that we had. I completely forgot that this happened in 2025. One of my favorite things is when people get all up in arms about things that just don't really matter. Remember when Cracker Barrel changed their logo and people lost their minds about it?
Cracker Barrel is acknowledging mistakes and rolling out its rebranding campaign that has sparked a fierce public backlash. We could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be, the family restaurant chain says in a new statement. Earlier this month, the company replaced its logo, featuring this character known as Uncle Herschel in place since the 1970s, with this sleek, minimalistic logo.
Cracker Barrel needs to feel like the Cracker Barrel for today and for tomorrow.
But many customers and investors weren't buying it. Cracker Barrel stock plummeted after the announcement, the company losing $94 million in market value last Thursday. The company saying, while our logo and remodels may be making headlines, our bigger focus is still right where it belongs, in the kitchen and on your plate. Uncle Herschel will still be on our menu, on our road signs, and featured in our country store. He's not going anywhere. He's family. It's not just the logo changing. The restaurant's interior design is getting spruced up with more comfortable chairs and sleeker decor, but the company vowing to keep the rocking chairs, fireplace, and games.
Rob, there's no chance if I had told you, hey, the old guy on the Cracker Barrel logo, what do you think his name is? There's no way you tell me, oh, that's Uncle Herschel. No way you know that. There's not at all. There's no way you know that.
Why would, you're right. I would never get right. Why would I think the inanimate mascot of a chain restaurant has a nickname?
I'm just telling you, man.
Do you think the lobster on Red Lobster has a name? What do you think the lobster on Red Lobster's logo name is? Like that. I would have no idea how to answer that question.
Maybe you support Uncle Herschel. I didn't know. When's the last time you went to Cracker Barrel?
I honestly don't remember. I've been to Cracker Barrel before. The food's pretty good.
I don't think I've been to Cracker Barrel post Y2K.
I definitely went as a kid, so I think it was post Y2K. But
what would make you go to Cracker Barrel? Like this weekend, let's say that Caroline comes up to you and says, "Hey, babe, I want you to take me out for breakfast." What would have to happen for you to make Cracker Barrel your destination, and that's where you end up going?
Someone else pays.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like, hey, here's a free breakfast, okay. I'm not above a free breakfast.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Cracker
Barrel's problem wasn't the logos.
No.
It's not their problem. They have other problems to address, other problems to attack.
Also, people just hate change. Whether it's better or worse, people hate change. Maybe your social media is different. You ever see those like, oh, remember when Burger King looked like this? Times were better. It's the same. Burger King's the same. McDonald's doesn't have play place anymore. You know what? McDonald's is still McDonald's. Just things are changing. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
I always feel like when people have those fast food arguments, like you're arguing how much you loved fast food when you were 7. Of course you loved it when you were 7. And now that you're 38 years old, no, you don't love that 4-for-4 menu as much as you did when you were a kid. No, for sure. Fast food was always better when you were a kid. Yeah, of course. You were 9. You hadn't eaten anywhere good yet at that point in your life. Now that you've had better cuisine, no, you don't get as excited about the Taco Bell dollar menu as you did when you were a kid. And you're wondering why you ate this. The fact that you can get 2 tacos for the price of getting on the bus should tell you everything that you need to know. You remember this story? The text line was arguing for you. Remember this story? You probably don't even remember this. I'm going to play it. Hold on.
Southwest is changing another longstanding policy. So starting in January, the airline will require passengers who encroach upon the neighboring seat to buy an additional ticket, which may not be refunded. Now, previously, you could either pay the cost of an extra seat in advance and later get a refund, or show up at the airport and request an extra seat at no charge. So now the second seat will only be refundable if the flight takes off with at least one open seat and both are in the same fare class. Advocacy groups for overweight people calls the changes devastating since they raised costs.
It's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing about that. This is what I'm laughing about. You want to be sued, don't you? It's 2025. You were telling me that someone bought a ticket, someone walks up to the front and hands you their paid ticket, and you were going to tell that person you weigh too much, you owe us more money, and you don't think that that person is about to sue the company? I'm still not even sure if this is a real story. Like, I know it's a real story, but I refuse to believe it's a real story. There's no way that people in nice suits who make a lot of money sat around and thought about this. And you know, you got to run everything through legal, Rob. We can't give a pizza away without running something through legal. You were going to make a ticketing change, and there wasn't one person that told you, hey, I don't think we can do this. Like, this sounds like a class action lawsuit waiting. Who determines if the person's big enough? How do we determine this? And I remember the text line was like, oh, well, you just don't know. You don't fly. I was, okay, all right. I mean, hey, it sounds like a really, really bad idea to me for Southwest, who in 2025, that's a company that had a lot of bad ideas. Southwest Airlines had a lot of bad ideas in 2025. And I say this as someone who has a Southwest credit card. I like their reward system. I like Southwest. A lot of bad ideas from them.
Not a banner year for old Southwest.
Not at all.
Remember when bags used to fly for free? Times are changing.
So times are certainly changing. No, for sure. For sure. 100%. Can we talk about this? I'm now mentally ready to talk about this. I always feel like I have to preface these conversations. I love the NFL. I really do. I love it. I spend a lot of my life reading and talking and thinking about and coming up with new ways and fresh, innovative ways to talk about the NFL. I love it. But I feel like the NFL has gotten so popular that we're afraid to tell the NFL when they have bad ideas. The NFL should have never moved the Los Angeles Chargers to Los Angeles. Los Angeles doesn't want the Chargers. They don't love the Chargers. They like the Rams, sure. They don't like the Chargers. Moving them out of San Diego was a bad idea. Helping San Diego build them a new stadium would have been the right idea, but no, LA's got two teams, so we got to have two teams. It was a terrible idea to move them there, and it would be better for the NFL if they moved back to San Diego. Las Vegas, taking one of your proud franchises and moving them there, also a terrible idea. The Raiders used to have an identity. The autumn wind cuts like a Raider. Like, the Raiders were cool. You've made them not cool. They're an attraction. They're like the Sphere now. They're like coming to see the Wizard of Oz. You go to Las Vegas, you go out, you eat a couple of shows, you go watch your team kick the local football team's head in, and then you go back home. It was a terrible idea of moving the Las Vegas Raiders and taking away one of your proud franchises with a clear identity and moving them to be a tourist destination. You should have moved Jacksonville then if that was the case. There were other franchises to move if that was the goal for the NFL. Doesn't make any sense. The NFL adding an extra week of NFL games and certainly going to argue that we need another week of NFL games is another terrible idea. There's 3 good games this week. Out of your 32 teams, 6 play in important games. This was not a good idea. And I feel like we have been so beaten down by the NFL and we're so addicted to the NFL that any bad decision, well, I mean, it's money. They got to make money. How much more money do they need? They're charging you $500 for a Sunday ticket. They're charging you for the PSLs. They're charging you $70 to park your car. You got to pay for 9 different streaming services to watch all the games. They need more money for what? They don't pay for their own stadiums. They don't pay for the land on the stadiums. How much more money do they need? They never needed to expand the NFL regular season. This week it's meaningless. It's meaningless. There's 3 good games on, and 2 of them are on Saturday. There's no reason to watch from a playoff perspective. There's no reason to watch the 12 o'clock window or the 3:25 window. Not a one. And I would even argue that one of the games that they have that was supposed to be a playoff game, it might not even end up mattering. Did you now know that the Panthers and Buccaneers, it's not a win if you go home scenario, that it's also based on the Falcons and Saints? So the Panthers could lose the game and still go to the playoffs. So it doesn't even have the same implications as the game in the AFC North. It was a really bad idea to expand the NFL regular season. And I know coming up in a few years when the CBA is up, they're then going to argue for an 18-game schedule for absolutely no reason. We have not increased the important football games. All we've done is increase the games at the end of the season that don't matter. The AFC has been done and locked up now for 2 weeks. We know who the playoff teams are. The NFC picture also been locked up for 2 weeks. We didn't need to do this. But they got to make more money. They got to sell it more to TV, and they needed more playoff games and more playoff teams. It was a bad idea from the jump to expand the NFL regular season.
I also think, as a society, I think we know that football is a grueling sport where players get hurt. Why did we think adding more games would increase the importance of the games? All it did was lend itself to another chance that good players would be hurt. I saw a report, Justin Herbert's not going to play on Sunday. I mean, if you weren't going to care about Broncos Chargers, that's fine. Justin Herbert's not playing. That game's useless. Like, there are players who are battling injury who are sitting out this week because there's an extra week of games. If we didn't have that extra game, maybe a player doesn't get hurt. Like, it made no sense when it happened. It makes no sense now, but the CBA will come out. The playoffs will expand. The regular season will expand. We'll play 20 games. We'll have 15 postseason teams. It'll just... Because the NFL, and people say, well, they're making more money. Just, okay, cool.
Yeah, and in that sense, to me, it's kind of like, and I don't know if you, like, maybe this analogy doesn't even make sense now that I'm thinking it out. It's like whenever a team was changing conferences and you were arguing, man, they make so much more money in the SEC. Why does that matter to you? Like, you don't care about the competitiveness. You don't care about the rivalries. You don't care about the games. Like, why are you taking some pride in what the television ratings are, how much money they're making off gambling? Like, this is not all of the games that we have in Week 18 we always would have had. We would have still had Panthers and Bucks. They're in the same division. We would have still had Seahawks and Niners. We still would have had Ravens and Steelers. We would have had all of these games. They're just, it was no purpose other than greed. That's all it was. Why the NFL plays games on Christmas? Greed. Every decision that they make is based off, it's not based off what's best for the league. It's not based off competitiveness. It is based off greed every single time. I mean, I'm going to watch it because we got to, but goodness gracious, I'm just not. I don't know if I can watch on Sunday. I'm being serious. The games at noon, there's way too many important games that we have to watch in the college football and NFL calendar to then spend my Saturday and Sunday watching games that don't have any value on anything. No, I told you guys, I'm either watching it for entertainment purposes or for the show. I'm not just watching football for the sake of watching football. I watch enough of it. We've been watching it since August. It's on all the time.
I mean, also, this week specifically, we're going to have games really matter on Wednesday, on Thursday, and on Saturday. You want me to commit my Sunday afternoon to?
For sure.
And then commit my Sunday evening? No. And then I got 4 weeks on deck of games that matter. I have to take a day off. The College World Playoff is a literal playoffs. I'm not taking those games off.
Yeah, I'm watching all 4 of those games.
I'm sorry. Eagles and Commanders is not having my attention. That's a time to get some stuff down around the house.
Especially on Thursday when we all off work anyway. There ain't nothing else to do other than watch football. Yes, I'm locked into all of those games. Rob, you know what? Let's hit a little college football music and let's get to it. We're not going to be here to break these games down. You're right. We got 4 college football playoff games starting tomorrow night between Miami and Ohio State. Rob, hit me with a little college music. All right, I don't know if this counts as a hot take or not. This is what I think will get them to change the playoff format and expand the playoff format. Last year, all 4 teams that had a bye lost in the second round of the college football playoff. If something similar happens this year, and you were telling me that Indiana's out, Georgia's out, Ohio State is out, Texas Tech, that's what happened last year. The 4 top seeds all lost in this round. They are not continuing with this system. And then if we're going to change the system, why don't we just do it the way that it should be? A 16-team playoff in the first 2 rounds, the higher seed is the home team. Is that not the easiest way to do it? That's how the NFL playoffs work. The first 2 games are at home, and then you can change the calendar that we have. You then play the semifinal on New Year's Day, which is synonymous with the college football sport. And then you have the national championship a week later on January 8th or one of those days. The college football playoff is so easy to figure it out. How have they made this difficult? 16-team playoff that starts. The higher seed hosts the games until we get to the Final Four. You rotate the Final Four between the Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, and all of those bowls. We have the national championship, and then we repeat the process. But we're asking fans for Ohio State to travel 3 straight weeks. They got to go to the Cotton Bowl. They got to go to the Fiesta Bowl and then the national championship. That just doesn't seem very feasible. You're asking people to do that coming off the holidays and how much money people spend for Christmas.
I also think, and this is from a purely college football lover's perspective, last year and this year, watching the games on campus, there is an energy that college football is supposed to have.
For sure.
That Alabama-Oklahoma game, that was a conference game in Norman.
It was great.
There was an energy to it. Last year, Notre Dame played Indiana. Notre Dame and Indiana don't get along because they're 2 schools in the same state that never play. There was a buzz, a hype, and excitement. Do you know what didn't have that buzz? Penn State, Boise State. I'm sorry, a sterilized, corporatized Fiesta Bowl at Penn State and Boise State was not a cool atmosphere. I don't even know where Indiana is playing. It's the Rose Bowl. Indiana, Alabama. We're going to have like the cool flyover shot because the Rose Bowl. But is it going to be as good of an atmosphere as Norman last week? No. Put more games on campus. Stop putting regular season games on places that aren't campus. Campus is where these games should be played, period. Full stop.
Miami versus Ohio State. I'm going to pick Ohio State to break the trend of teams that had a bye and win. I just don't trust Miami's offense enough to score. I do trust Ohio State's offense to score. They got one of the 5 best quarterbacks in college football. That Bo Jackson kid, their running back, had a phenomenal second half of the season. They probably have the best player in college football. I think they might once again have the best roster in the sport as well. Ohio State is playing like one of those kind of teams. Clemson from a few years back, Alabama from a few years back, Georgia. They're one of those kind of programs. I don't think that's where Miami is. Miami has had some good wins this season. This is where I think their run ends. Give me Ohio State.
Yeah, I feel like this has a chance to get ugly. Miami can't score. And I think Ohio State is going to eventually break them because they can. It might be one of those games where at half it's like, oh, it's spicy. It's 16-7. Let's see what happens. But I think eventually Ohio State just breaks Miami. And this one ends up being like 31-10, 31-13. Ohio State's just too talented for Miami. Miami did a really good job at A&M, but I don't think they can do it twice in a row.
Oregon and Texas Tech, that's the first game on New Year's Day. Rob, tell me why you're going to side with the Big 12 here, because I know you're picking the Big 12
I'm picking
team.
Texas Tech. Texas Tech might have the best defense in college football. No one talks about them that way.
Because of who they stopped. Because they beat up on Avery Johnson and K-State. That's why we think they got the best. Show me against a team like Oregon with the NFL quarterback.
I'm excited to see them against an NFL quarterback because they have a top 10 pick at edge rusher. They have a day 2 pick at
beat
linebacker.
Up on Iowa State. And you're like, oh, they got the best defense in the league. Well, show me then. Show me on Thursday at the Capital One Orange Bowl.
Also, who has Oregon beat this year? Show me Oregon's behemoth win.
I'm taking Oregon to win this game. They got a behemoth win. They went on the road and beat Iowa. That's tough.
Oh, yeah.
They went on the road and beat Penn State. That's tough.
Oh, yeah, that's James
They beat
Franklin's
USC earlier this year.
Uh-huh. You know what that is? That's Iowa State, K-State, and, BYU. It's the same.
Hold on. They beat a playoff team last week in James Madison.
Oh, yeah. They got James Madison. By the way, couldn't cover against a team that had no
cover.
business being out there.
Cover. I'm picking Indiana against Alabama. I'm picking Indiana.
Is that a surprise to people? I think Indiana does have the best quarterback.
I think whenever we see the actual betting slips for the day, I think that the Alabama money line is going to be the most popular bet.
Okay, that's fair. I think it'll be the most popular bet. I just think Indiana might have the best coach left in the whole thing, and they have the best quarterback left.
Hold on, let's not do that. Georgia has the best coach left, Kirby Smart. I'll take Kirby Smart over.
Okay, that's fair.
And I like Cignetti. I would just take. I think Kirby Smart's the best coach in college football.
I think it's closer than the average person thinks. Like Cignetti's really he's in year 2 at Indiana.
Yeah, I hate to say this. I think the SEC was overvalued this year, and I think Alabama's going to show you that. I think Alabama has a great quarterback.
Too.
I don't think they have a whole lot else on that team. This team, they cannot run the football this year. Something happened to Ryan Williams. He's not anywhere close to the receiver he was last year. Their defense is good, but funny enough, I think Indiana's the tougher, more physical team, more balanced team. They're also getting one of their top receivers back in Omar Cooper, the guy that had the game-winning catch against Penn State. Yeah, I like Indiana to win that game. Give me Indiana -7.
Also, what Indiana did defensively to Ohio State,
For sure.
they're
Let's
going
to do that to Alabama.
They're going to have Ty Simpson in a blender. And you're right. I don't know what happened to Ryan Williams. He needs to be studied. Did the Monstars steal his talent? Because I don't know what happened to him.
Georgia and Ole Miss. I'm biased here. I got to bet on Georgia to win the whole thing.
I don't think Ole Miss has a chance.
I'm not going to say they don't have a chance.
I mean, it's football, so they have a chance, but I think Georgia just clearly superior, and they don't have a coach. Like, you mentioned Kirby Smart's the best coach in what's left. He's going to coach circles around, is it Pete Golding? This
is Pete Golding's first real big game.
This feels like,
I don't know. The only reason I'm not going to say it is you played them earlier in the season because they know you, and just Ole Miss is just such a wild card in this scenario. Like, genuinely a wild card. I have no clue what to expect from them.
I mean, I don't expect them to keep up with Georgia.
Ohio State next week could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of Georgia, Ohio State next week could be a lot of fun.
Georgia, Ohio State, I mean, Oregon or Tech coming out of that game against Indiana, that's a really good Final Four.
So will an Indiana-Oregon rematch will be a lot of fun, too.
Thanks for Tech's winning that game.
After they go on the road and smack Texas
Future
Tech.
Chief David Bailey is going to have multiple sacks in that game.
Go on the road and that's who you got him taking, Bailey?
I want him to take Bailey, yeah.
I want him to take Jeremiah Love just to upset you.
No.
That's what I really want.
I'm about 90 minutes away from vacation. Don't do that.
That's what I really want. I want them to
My
say,
head will explode.
I actually want the Chiefs to trade up to get Jeremiah Love just for you. I want them to move up to 7. That's what I want them to do.
One spot. Oh, God, I'd lose
That's what I want them to do. All right, coming up on the other side, you know what? Why don't we talk about the Chiefs for a little bit? We have the range of where the Chiefs could potentially pick. We'll talk about it and play a little bit of a game. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with CDOT. Tune in as Nate Taylor of ESPN joins the show in studio every Friday at 4 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Straight Talk presents the math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back-end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
The world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circa Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Crash, Pleasant Valley area, 35 northbound, just past 69. Right lane is blocked. Scoot to the left to get through here a little quicker than the rest of the folks that are tapping their brakes. 435 southbound as you approach 70. Be prepared. The two left lanes are blocked here. This is a crash with a car fire. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, this is the exercise that I want to do. Maybe this ends up being a little bit clunky, but I think it will be a worthwhile exercise. So, if you look at the Athletic right now, the Chiefs have the most likely selections for the Chiefs are 8, 9, 10, and 11. So they have a 21% chance at the 8th overall pick, a 36% chance at number 9, 21 at number 10, and 18 at number 11. They got a 4% chance at number 12. Like, a lot of things got to go wrong, I guess, so to speak, for them to end up getting the 12th pick. So they're somewhere between 8 to 11. Now, yesterday, some people got mad at me, and mad's kind of relative. I don't really care where the Chiefs pick in this range. The Chiefs are not the Jets where they desperately need a quarterback where you got to pick in the top 3 to get your quarterback. I also am reading a text right here that says, C-Dot, I know you're not going to suggest drafting anything but a pass rusher. I know that Veach is best player available, but this could be your one and only chance to get Nick Bosa or Myles Garrett, one of those kind of pass rushers. I'm sorry, that guy doesn't fall to 8 in the NFL draft. That guy doesn't fall to 11 in the. If you're telling me there's a prospect that they think is Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa, that guy goes in the top 3. It's not where the Chiefs are going to be picking. Now, I understand the logic in where you want the best draft pick possible. If you're not going to, I get it. We can go through this range of players over the last 4 years, and I just think you're going to see that there's just not a huge gap of where you, like, once you get outside the top talent in the draft, which is 1 through 5, man, it's about making the right selection for you as an organization. So this was last year's 8 through 11. Tet McMillan went to Carolina. Kelvin Banks Jr. was an offensive lineman that went to the State. Colston Loveland, who, if you remember at the time, a lot of people thought that Tyler Warren was the better tight end. I kind of still think that Tyler Warren is the better tight end. Mikael Williams, the DN from Georgia, he went 11th overall to San Francisco, and Tyler Booker was the 12th overall pick to the Dallas Cowboys. Rob, there's not a big gap in the 8th pick and the 12th pick. And if you took Tet McMillan at number 8, what if I told you that you could have got a Emeka Egbuka at 19 who might end up being the better receiver out of them? We all knew that those were two top guys. Now, we could go to the 2024 draft in that same range. In 2024, this was much more of a quarterback draft. Obviously, no meaning to the Kansas City Chiefs. So Michael Penix was the 8th pick. Rome Odunze was the 9th pick. J.J. McCarthy was number 10. An offensive lineman from Penn State, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, for the Jets. And Bo Nix was the 12th overall pick. So obviously, I don't think we're going to see that level of quarterbacks. That draft, I think, had 6 quarterbacks drafted in the top 12. That was a different kind of draft than the one that we have now. But I'm looking at the top of it. I mean, it was a quarterback year. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. went 4 in this year's draft class. Joe Alt, who was the best offensive lineman, went 5 in this draft class. Those were the elite level prospects. And then you take a step down, you could have got a good player. Quinyon Mitchell was in that first round. I would take Quinyon Mitchell with the 11th overall pick. Yeah, he went 22nd in that year's draft class. If the Chiefs moved on from Trent McDuffie and drafted Quinyon Mitchell with the 11th overall pick, I'd be fired up if that's who they got. If you could have got Byron Murphy at 16, you'd be thrilled if that's who you ended up getting in this scenario. We can go back another year in 2023. Number 8 was Bijan Robinson. Number 9 was Jalen Carter. Darrell Wright, the offensive tackle, went to the Chicago Bears. Peter Skronsky went to the Tennessee Titans. Jahmyr Gibbs was the 12th overall pick. Like, we can continue to go through this. Again, if you are on the side of tank, get the best pick possible, I'm not here telling you that you're wrong. If we continue to go through this, you are going to see there is not a huge difference in the 8th pick and the 11th pick. And right after you get side out of that range, there's a lot of players that you would very happily be cool with if the Chiefs took. You'd be happy if the Chiefs took Christian Gonzalez or Jack Campbell, who went 17 and 18, or Jackson Smith and Jibba with the 20th overall pick. You'd be happy if they ended up with those guys. I understand that draft culture is about pick as high as you can and hoard as many picks as you can. I get it. The Chiefs are going to be in a position to take a day one impact starter at almost any position that they see fit. At almost any position. If they want to answer right tackle, they'll be in a position to answer right tackle. If they want to take a Trent McDuffie replacement, you can take a corner. If you want to take a pass rusher, if you want to end up taking a really good wide receiver that can be a day one step in for you starter, that's what you get when you pick between 8 to 12. You find a guy that can instantly step in and help you. And I would say, based on where they've selected the last couple of years, that's not really the expectation for Xavier Worthy was to step in day one and be a massive help for you. That really wasn't the expectation. I mean, it was a couple years ago. They were drafting first-round picks. We were calling them red shirts, and they hadn't even been handed the jersey yet. There is no red shirt year when you pick 11th. There's no red shirt year if you're picked 9th. No, you are a starter. Day one, you need to have a defined role on this team and a defined purpose. And it's your responsibility as an organization to get that kid in a position where he can play. So honestly, I just don't care. I know some of you are very invested in it. That's not where I am. They're not a good football team. They're going to select where bad football teams pick. Draft players to get yourself good. That's the responsibility of Brett Veach.
So we agree. But going through that exercise, I think one thing became abundantly clear, and this is not some earth-shattering, NFL draft take. It's more about who you take than where you take them. Because we talk about this with the Chiefs all the time. There was this thought that, the bill was always going to come due because the Chiefs pick 30th, 31st, 32nd every year. You can pick good players anywhere in the NFL draft. They are available. Now, maybe there's a variance on how many good players available in each round, but whether you're picked 10 or 25, it's a matter of identifying, scouting, and picking the player. Because, even last year's draft, just cherry picking that one. Kelvin Banks, I don't watch the Saints like that, so I'll throw him out. A couple of those guys that's a great pick at 8, 9, 10. A couple of those guys you mentioned, you're like, ooh, that's swing and a miss. It's not because, the 10th pick just was void of talent that year. It's because the 10th pick, you have to find, identify, and pick the right player.
Yeah, and we can even go back one more draft class here. So these are the last 4 draft classes. Even in this example, where, Rob, I'm sure that you and I spent time arguing about which one of these receivers that which you would want. So the 8th through 12th pick in the 2022 draft, so 4 drafts ago, Drake London went 8, Garrett Wilson went 10, Chris Olave went 11, Jamison Williams went 12, and Jordan Davis went 13, and Kyle Hamilton went 14. Right now, you would take any one of those wide receivers, and I think you could argue that any one of those wide receivers would be wide receiver number 1 on the Chiefs. If you're taking any one of those 4 wide receivers.
I will say, I agree with you. One thing
and Jordan Davis would be the best defensive player that you have.
100%. The one thing that will affect the Chiefs this year in the draft is it's not a good quarterback draft. Because that one draft you mentioned, now that was a freak show draft with JJ and...
I think this draft class is a little better than people are giving it credit. You got 3 legitimate first-round picks to me. Moore's 1, Mendoza is 1, and Ty Sims. I like Ty Sims. I think he's got a chance to be a very good NFL player.
My point was, there's more than 3 quarterback-needy teams.
That's fair.
Usually teams are willing to come up and jump ahead of people and we have to get a quarterback, so we're going to take the 4th best one available, 8th overall pick, which inherently slides a better player down the draft. That's where I think it hurts the Chiefs just a little bit.
If you want my honest thing, the best possible scenario for the Chiefs would be is that the Chiefs get the 9th overall pick, a team desperately wants a player, they move from 9 to 13, and you pick up an extra 2nd or 3rd round pick. You can still take an instant day 1 starter, and you continue to build assets. What this team needs is they need an abundance. They need to turn over the roster, and you do that with young, proven players. That's what you need. They got to turn over this roster. It's too many old guys. It's too many guys that have been on this team for long. I don't want to see Juju Smith-Schuster back in a Chiefs uniform, Hollywood Brown. Like, they got to turn that roster over and get some youth, get some guys on some rookie contracts, and some guys that can grow in this second juncture of a potential Chiefs dynasty. Coming up on the other side, we had a great conversation with Dave Helling, who does a little bit of writing for the Kansas City Star. He worked for him for 40 years. He's now retired, but he still does some pieces for them. He has covered this stadium stuff since 1977. We had a long talk with him about the deal in Kansas and also the Royals' future in Missouri. That's all coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
We've got a crash with debris 71 southbound just before 85th. Right lane is blocked. And the crash with a car fire still working 435 southbound. That is right before 70 left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Danon Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danon Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park and Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Heading out of town this winter? Snow, ice, and cold temps are stressful enough. Airport parking shouldn't be. Park and Go makes it easy with online reservations, fast free shuttles, and all spots are covered to keep your car protected from winter weather. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into the show. Carrington here, Rob here. I would say congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5, but I don't know if many of you worked a 9 to 5 today. Rob, I always feel like this is the, hey, how does Carrington feel? What is Carrington thinking portion of the year? And so I don't have to have a long conversation about it. I do want to play the Dave Helling for you guys. I am very, very happy. I am very, very energized to be here. I could not be happier with Rob and our relationship and the show and where I'm at and where I feel. I'm very, very happy. So I always like, oh, when are you going to, I don't have any interest in doing that. I have been offered plenty of chances to go do something else. And the answer a lot of times is no. I don't have much of an interest in even listening to the conversation. If Rob's not coming, I don't really have much of an interest in being there. And if Rob's going to continue this Darren Peterson, you know what? You've actually stopped the Darren Peterson as Kobe. It's kind of hard to call him Kobe when we realize he doesn't have the Mamba mentality. Maybe you can come if that's the case. But no, I'm good. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time. I don't have to give you guys some long stories today. I'm very, very happy. I am looking forward to 2026. and what we have planned on the show and continuing to put on the best show in the city. That is something that still motivates me very much every single day. All right, Rob, I want to play this Dave Helling. I know you got to shout out Baker University. Shout out to them for the last time in 2025, and we'll play a couple more stories before we get out of here.
Your workday is over. Oh, yeah. You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, as you mentioned, for the final time in 2025, the hits are brought to you by Baker University. Make your next era orange at Baker University, the first university in Kansas, and ranked number 1 in return on investment on private universities in the state. Baker University, forever in our orange era.
I just want to communicate that the plan was for us to keep working. The plan was for us to be here on Thursday, and the plan was for us to be here throughout the course of the week. The Chiefs are the ones that ruined the plan. They're the ones that ruined it. When the Chiefs were in it, we were here every day. Well, I was. You were always on. You're always off doing something. I've been here. Now, I mean, I've already started putting in my days for 2026. But yeah, no, I was locked in. We did not cause this. We did not do this. The drive had nothing to do with this. I want that out there. All right, I want to play this for you in the 5 o'clock hour. This was by far and away this is the only important thing that we did today on the show. We didn't do anything else important on the show today. We had Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star, and he is an excellent resource on the business side and the financials of the Truman Sports Complex and also the Star Bonds in Kansas. Our conversation with Dave started with, there is a 33-page term agreement sheet that you can read right now between the state of Kansas and the Kansas City Chiefs. Dave Helling has read this agreement. What do you think?
Well, it's a pretty complicated document, and there's a pretty complicated mechanism for actually buying the land and building this stadium in Kansas. One of the things your listeners should know is that it's not final. The 33-page document says in the first couple of paragraphs, hey, we've still got details to work out, and until we work them out, this thing isn't finished. And then it proceeds to explain how the mechanisms will work. So that's an important thing to know, that they're still working on parts of this. And then the other things that I noticed were, of course, government ownership of the stadium. That means the Chiefs won't have to pay property taxes on that facility, and they're going to try and figure out a way not to pay property taxes on the facility in Olathe, the practice facility and the headquarters. The mechanism for Star Bonds, how that works, who will issue them and when. That was in the 30-page or is in the 33-page document. And then the other important thing your listeners should know, the cities and counties involved are also going to be asked to kick in some money as well from their sales taxes. That hasn't been finalized at all, and the agreement, the term sheet, outlines how that needs to still take place. And then, of course, just to finalize, it also had the now notorious district map, which showed who would be on the hook for these sales taxes to pay off the bonds. And it includes most, if not all, of Wyandotte County and about half of Johnson County. And I tweeted that out about an hour after the announcement, and so far it has 730,000 views on Twitter. So people are interested in how this is going to work and how much money, if any, they're going to pay for.
You mentioned how in the first couple pages of this agreement, it says, hey, this deal is not final. I've seen some reporting that the state of Missouri could get back into this thing. Is there any reason to believe that Kansas and the Chiefs won't finalize this deal and that the Chiefs won't be in Wyandotte County in 2031?
No. Now, the Chiefs in Wyandotte County, that's a separate issue, in part because there could always be construction delays or financing delays. Although, to be frank, it's hard to imagine the Chiefs going back to Jackson County and saying, hey, we're leaving, but we need another couple of years at Arrowhead to make it work. But I don't think there's any possibility at all that Missouri would get back into the discussions for an extension on that side of state line. In the first place, they're furious about what has happened, and the state of Missouri particularly is going to be angry about it. And second, it's just impossible, really, for Missouri to match what Kansas has done for the teams. So I think that, they're going to spend the next couple of months negotiating the details. And then once that's over and they get a final document that describes all the conditions, then the Chiefs will buy or lease the land over on the Wyandotte County side. They'll transfer it to the government entity that will be created to oversee all of this, and then we'll be off and running. So I don't think that Missourians should take some solace in the idea that it isn't finished yet. It's just very, very hard to see how Missouri would come up with anything matching Kansas, or that Kansas would backtrack having made this announcement.
A lot of people have commented on this being a bad deal for the state. And my open yesterday was, this is the agreement that American cities have made to have NFL teams. And people can be mad and frustrated about it. But if you want the Chiefs, if you want the Royals, if you want to have professional sports in your city, it largely requires you to kind of reach one of these agreements with the team in order to have it. So I understand if the terms don't seem super favorable to the state of Kansas, but I also don't think that Kansas has a lot of leverage in this situation. You have an opportunity to have an NFL team. You are the smallest state that would have an NFL team. You are going to have to give up a substantial amount of money to take them away from Missouri.
Yeah, I think all of that is true. And I would add one other thing. I think that there is a case to be made for this agreement to Carrington. It's too bad that Governor Laura Kelly and the Chiefs don't know how to make that case, because they've said things like, "Oh, it's no tax increase," and which is silly. But the case is that Jackson County and Missourians broadly and Kansas Cityans have carried the freight for two professional sports franchises for half a century, almost by themselves. And it is probably time for Kansas to pick up the burden of at least one of those franchises, maybe for the next 30 or 40 years. I mean, Kansans, who of course enjoy the Royals and Chiefs, have been getting off scot-free, really, scot-free is an exaggeration, but they certainly haven't paid as much as Jackson Countyans and Kansas Cityans and Missourians for those teams since, the 1970s. So the case is that it's Kansas' turn. And I wrote a column the day after the vote failed in April of 24, saying maybe it was time for the Chiefs to look at Kansas for that exact reason. So you're exactly right, though, to say that this is the price of poker, particularly in cities like Kansas City or Minneapolis or Cleveland or Indianapolis or some of the middle cities in professional sports leagues. Los Angeles can support a couple of stadiums or have people wealthy enough to build them out of their own pockets. But that just isn't the case here. So that's the case for it. Now, is this the best deal Kansas could have gotten? We'll have to wait for that judgment. I mean, because it's so hard to know what the Chiefs would have settled for in the end. They're going to get every dime they can get, and they got a lot of dimes going in this deal. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, how the bonds are issued, whether the cities and counties join in on participating in the bond setup, how the stadium is built. One of the things I tweeted about today, and this is an interesting wrinkle that I haven't seen reported on, is, as you know, in Jackson Countyans get preference for playoff tickets and season tickets, and for the Royals too. That preference is written into the current lease, but we've heard no talk about that in Wyandotte County or Johnson County. So my guess is that goes on the table as well, whether there will be some sort of ticket preference for those residents because of their support. But the case for me has been that Kansas has basically been a free rider for a long time, and you can make the case that this agreement finally puts them on the hook for some of the cost of having the pro franchises that we both enjoy.
Dave, I want to go back to something you said. You called it silly, where the governor is saying that this is not a tax increase. Why did you use the term silly?
Well, because first of all, it's foregoing future tax revenues for at least 20 years. Now, just think for a minute how much money that involves and how that money might be used in Kansas in another way, and that has to be made up somehow. If you said, I've used this analogy before, but if you said, hey, I'm Kansas, I figured out a way to buy cotton candy for every person in America without raising taxes, your first reaction would be, well, isn't there something better to spend it on than cotton candy, even without a tax increase? So the tax part of it is less important than the spending part of it, which will be easily, when you include interest, $3 billion by the time it's over. That is a lot of money coming from the pockets of taxpayers, even if there's not a tax increase involved. Remember, the April 2024 vote also did not include a tax increase for the Chiefs and Royals. It just extended an existing tax. And there was a great debate at the time whether that meant a tax increase or not. But the more fundamental thing is public spending for a stadium, for a sports franchise. That's what we need to focus on, and not whether there is some accounting trick to make it look like there's no cost to citizens when there clearly is.
I still firmly believe if the Royals at spring training come to the people of Kansas City, Missouri, and Jackson County with a solid and clear vision for downtown baseball, I think people would rally around it, especially now after knowing that the Chiefs are going to move. You want to keep one of the teams on this side of state line. I think you could really capture people's imagination. But you're right, at almost every single turn, it felt like the Royals just tripped over themselves and couldn't accurately communicate what their vision is. They now have had 2 years to think about this thing. The next time that they talk to the Kansas City public and the next time they talk to Jackson County, if they have all their ducks in a row, I still firmly believe that people will support their vision.
Yeah, I agree with that. And trust me, there were conversations had 2 years ago with officials in the Chiefs and the Royals organizations telling them they had to be more transparent about what they were doing. And for whatever reason, they just weren't. That's not how politics works in any city in America in the 2020s. You have to be upfront and clear with the public, or they'll just say no. And it's exactly what happened in 2024. And I've been disappointed, frankly, with the lack of transparency since then. But I think there's still a chance for the Royals to do something special. And I do think Missouri will be potentially very aggressive in trying to keep the team on the Missouri side. Having said that, I think Laura Kelly missed a real opportunity at the announcement for the Chiefs to say, in essence, this is it. We're not going to bid for the Royals anymore. This really is far out on the limb as we want to get, and the Royals should make their deal with Missouri. That would cut the cost to Missourians and maybe ease some of the hurt feelings that people now have about the way this was handled. And, as you know, the opposition to the Kansas site for the Royals is growing daily from residences and business owners at 119th and Knoll who are saying, we just don't want a big baseball stadium in this location. So she didn't do that, and I think that was a missed opportunity. But I think it's – and by the way, the informal deadline for reaching a deal with the Royals for Star Bonds is tomorrow, December 31st. Now, that's an informal deadline, but it's the deadline the Chiefs faced as well. So if we don't hear anything today or tomorrow about the Royals going to Kansas, it's possible that any deal in Kansas will be off the table anyway. So I think Missouri is still very much in the running for the Royals. I've said for a long time, I still like the East Village site. I think that the need to attract East Side residents to baseball games is important. One of the sites I talked about, which has never been really examined to a great degree, is over by Lowe's Hotel and the Performing Arts Center near the West Side, where, we have so many Latino players now on the Royals that would help draw a Latino audience. But you are hearing 18th and Vine. You do hear Washington Square Park, north of the river. All of those seem pretty valid opportunities. Just quickly, your listeners should know, if the Royals stay in Missouri, the local government is required to participate in some way, some tax abatement, some participation in the package, unlike in Kansas where local participation is optional. So there will likely be, if they stay in Missouri, another vote either in North Kansas City or Jackson County for the Royal Stadium. And if they're going to do that in April of next year, by the way, they have to get it on the ballot in the next 4 or 5 weeks. So the time frame is crunching, and we should know more about the baseball team within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it seems to me.
Dave, I always thought the East Village made the most sense for the Kansas City Royals. Why did that deal never come together? And I don't feel like it's ever really been discussed. It feels like right now we are arguing between 3 locations. 119th and Knoll, which I'm with you, I just don't think is a very good location for them. I'm not wild about the Clay County idea as well, but you could sell me on it. The vision for the Royals is downtown baseball. It has just always made the most sense, but I don't really feel like there's been a lot of traction there. What happened to the East Village idea?
Well, I'm retired now, Carrington, so my journalism is a little bit suspect on this part of the story. But what I was always told was that the East Village fell out of favor because the Royals, as you may know, talked a lot about a surrounding baseball village to the new stadium with hotels and restaurants and bars, and they were going to make some of their money from the development around the stadium. And it was my understanding that the Cordish Company, which runs the Power and Light District, was not real excited about having a competing entertainment district just 6 blocks away. That was also their concern about the Crossroads site, by the way, which is, we don't want to have more apartments and more hotels and more bars. Now, the Cordish people never confirmed that, but that was the understanding that circulated among the people I talked to, that it was opposition from Cordish early on that caused the Royals and the city to move away from the East Village site. I still think that's the best place to put it, frankly, but if they go downtown. But they're not listening to me very much.
Dave, I don't know if you're a gambling man. If you had to offer up a prediction, where do you think the Royals' future home is going to be?
Well, I think it's Missouri. I mean, I'm not a gambling man, but if I had money to bet, I'd bet on Missouri. I think Missouri will be much more aggressive to put the agreement to paper with the Royals. And frankly, I think Kansas is less aggressive. I think Kansas always targeted the Chiefs. They just, for a lot of reasons, probably preferred pro football to pro baseball. I think one of the discussions early on was to put the Royal Stadium out where the Chiefs, in essence, will go, and that, for whatever reason, fell off the radar. So I think it's more likely than not Missouri. I think it's going to be complicated to get there because there are a lot of financial tools that need to be ironed out and figured out before that happens. And the calendar is getting short. I mean, if you want to be out by 2031, which the Royals do, and next year is 2026, you're not going to have a lot of time to mess around before you have to put pen to paper and start laying bricks. So I think in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we'll see some clarity. I still think it's Missouri. If I had to guess, I think it's downtown Kansas City in the Jackson County area, but that seems less certain to me than the Clay County option. But I think the Royals are beginning to understand that if they want to build at 119th and Knoll, they're going to face some pretty serious opposition, a lukewarm state of Kansas, difficulty on that site. I just think there are more hurdles there than they've admitted.
I told Mayor Lucas this when he came on the show after the announcement. I think you saw a lot of this. Like, a lot of people are disappointed. And you know this as somebody who's covered politics and sports in this region for a long time. Like, people's identity is tied up into whether you grew up on the Missouri side or the Kansas side. Sure, we are all from one metro, but it's just different. And it's hard to explain it to people who are not from this area. If the Royals end up moving to Kansas too, people who are from Kansas City will be broken in a way that I'm not sure if the politicians fully understand. So to everything that you're saying, I think it now becomes imperative. if you are Mayor Quentin Lucas, this will be on your resume and there's nothing you will be able to do about it. But you have a chance to still salvage this thing, and you have a chance to be the person who brought the Royals downtown. You were never going to do anything about the Chiefs, in my opinion. But if the Royals go to 119th and all, the people of Kansas City and Jackson County, they will be broken beyond repair, in my mind.
Well, that's pretty aggressive, Carrington, but it will be a severe blow. Now, whether Quentin Lucas bears the blame is an interesting question because, of course, the deals the teams have now are with the county, not the city. The city really isn't involved other than to send a couple of $1 million a year to the maintenance fund. But having said that, though, you're right on the politics of it. People will probably blame Quentin Lucas, certainly more than maybe Frank White, who they kicked out of office, or Phil Lavoda. So I think I think the mayor will work hard to try and put a deal together. There are facilities and mechanisms that would allow it to happen. Missouri is at the table in terms of a significant financial package for the Royals, and the Royals have much more of an impact financially on a community than the Chiefs do. The Chiefs play 10 games a year. The Royals play 81 games at their stadium. So that's more money for the bars and restaurants and hotels than the Chiefs could ever generate. The Chiefs, about 800,000 people a year go to those games. That's about a third of how many attend the Royals in a good year. So when they play well. So I just think all the arrows point to downtown Kansas City, Missouri. I could be dead wrong. Have me on in 2 weeks, and I'll have to admit that I was way off base. But I think that seems to me more likely.
That was Dave Helling of the Kansas City Star. He joined us earlier today on the show to talk about the business side of the stadiums. Coming up on the other side, we'll go through some of my favorite news stories of the year. We're wrapping up 2025. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Tune in Mondays at 4 to hear the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is offering all customers a profit boost every college football game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into big-time cash. Ride with your favorites. Take a shot on the underdog or build a parlay. Then apply your profit boost and go for the big win. This is going to be an exciting week of college football with some exciting matchups, and you can up the excitement with our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel is the best place to get in on the college football action all playoff season long. And when you win, you get paid instantly. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/local to get your college football profit boost today. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issues novel drawable profit book tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can you help us your best bet? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula? No. Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Officer? Can I get your perspective as a man of the law?
You know I'm a mall cop, right?
You see this Hyundai Santa Fe? I only paid for it.
Whoa.
Right? I'm not in trouble, am I?
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid models. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
We've got a crash with debris 71 southbound just before 85th. Right lane is blocked. And the crash with a car fire still working 435 southbound. That is right before 70 left lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rashi Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to the Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to play this for you. The mayor of Kansas City just met with, I actually don't know who he met with. I just saw the story online and was like, we should probably play it. Here's the mayor of Kansas City. His hope is to have the Royals downtown.
You know, obviously, if you look at Washington Square Park, you see a site that does not have some of the same challenges and opportunities as perhaps those that have been evaluated before. You have a footprint that does not take out any existing business. You have a footprint that already itself is largely tourism, entertainment related and focused. You have tens of thousands of parking spaces nearby.
I mean, you guys keep telling me how good this idea is. Then let's get it done. Rob, let's get it done then. If you're telling me how good this idea is, we're not going to take out any local existing business. It's going to be in downtown. There's great parking next to it. We'll get her done.
He also said there's an entertainment district right there, already built in.
Yeah, what are we doing here then? Let's make it happen. All right, I'm going to play a couple audio pieces for you guys. This was our #1 story of the year. This was not my favorite story of the year, because my favorite story of the year was the guy with the AI girlfriend. That was my favorite story of the year. But I put this up against anybody. There is not a radio show in America that covered the crisis in New Orleans more than this one.
Get this, including a local rideshare driver who tells us that he believes he gave a ride to one of those inmates, Lytton Van Buren.
WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor is live from the jail with the message to other rideshare drivers. It's a story you'll see only on WDSU. Shay?
So I actually just spoke with that rideshare driver who tells me he's still in shock by what he saw and what he heard early yesterday morning during his last drive of the night. Take a listen. Now, picking up a man from a home on North Galvez in the 9th Ward and bringing that person to off Morrison in New Orleans East, he says the drive was booked by a woman. When the man entered the car, the driver tells me he tried to hide his face. He also recalls the man being on the phone with a woman who kept asking where he was in a panic. That driver tells me he was able to get a good look through his front mirror of the man who sat in his back seat. Today, that driver tells me the passenger was Lytton Van Buren, one of those escaped inmates.
So you guys remember, was this back in May, Rob, when this happened? 10 people escaped a prison in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, one of the bits of the story I will never, ever get over is that they caught one of the individuals 4 hours later in the French Quarter. The French Quarter is 8 minutes away from where this prison is located. 4 hours later, they caught you trying to get a hand grenade. He was underneath the car in the French Quarter. If you are escaped from prison, the last place I'm going is the touristy part of town. Then you remember it ended with homeboy whose girlfriend snitched on him. Remember that story, Rob? Remember the last guy? He evaded the police for about 3-4 months. And then he ended up getting an argument with his girl, and then his girl ended up turning him in for the reward money, allegedly. If there's one person I'm trying to keep happy, it's her. It sounds like she was the one out here paying for the Ubers. You're getting an Uber, you're a wanted fugitive? You know, they're looking for you? Wasn't a whole lot of thought process in that scenario, not at all. That was my favorite news story that we covered all year. I had some other ones. This was one.
Forget big weddings. Now it's the proposal that's breaking the bank. Couples are dropping serious cash just to pop the question, with some proposals now costing more than the honeymoon or even the ceremony itself. According to the New York Post, one man spent over $14,000, including a private rooftop setup. Another couple flew to Portugal, shelled out $17,000, complete with designer watches, drone footage, a luxury hotel. Experts say it's all about the wow moment and the Instagram likes to prove it, and is being driven by influencers. So what do you think about the pricey trend? Let us know.
I'm serious, man. I can't imagine you're doing all of that for the wow and the Instagram likes. Why do you need the all 22 footage of you proposing? You needed drone footage, fireworks, $14,000. Whatever happened to real love and dedication? Whatever happened to taking her to the place that you guys went on your first date? And then you stop in the awkward, you get down on one knee and you tell her how much you care about her and how much you love her and how much you want to be with her. That's free 99. 14,000, take her to 1587. I mean, a meal for two might end up being $14,000. Rob, did they say it's all about the Instagram likes?
It did, and here's what I'm puzzled by.
Getting the all 22 footage for your engagement is crazy.
Now, maybe my life is unique, if that's possible.
How much did your engagement cost?
Less than that. But I'll tell you this. If you get engaged and you post on Instagram, we're engaged, and you're not getting likes because not enough wow factor, you have a you problem.
You're trying to go viral. You're not just trying to get your own personal friends to like it. No, not at all.
Like, I posted on Instagram. Most of my friends liked it. I wasn't looking for TMZ to pick it up. I'm not Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I'm just regular, and I'm not doing things for the Instagram likes.
They said it's about the wow. $14,000? Drone footage?
Also, I would tell you.
You paid $14,000 for an Instagram reel.
The person who went to Portugal, I would be sweating bullets. You know how many times people lose luggage? Imagine you lost the ring in Portugal.
That's the whole concept of Meet the Parents. Is he lost the engagement ring? Where'd you get engaged at?
My home?
David Booth Memorial Stadium during a commercial break.
Section 25 at Allen.
During a commercial break. Hey, babe, like, I mean, are we going to do this?
Stadium was torn down at that point, so this went to work.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, you probably see more action at Allen Fieldhouse than Darren Peterson.
I still haven't seen Darren Peterson play at Allen Fieldhouse.
That's not funny. I'm sorry.
I got a great view of him using the Theragun, though.
You're telling me that I've seen Michael Porter in Mizzou Arena more than you've seen Darren Peterson play? Now, I didn't see a whole lot of Michael Porter. I was at that Iowa State game. He made it through the first media timeout. But I've seen more Michael Porter Jr. than you've seen Darren Peterson?
Yeah, because hindsight 2020, I sold.
You should have went to that Green Bay game.
Green Bay game.
You should have been there.
It was a Monday at 7. I thought, I can't really make it. It's Green Bay. Who cares?
Yeah, you should have been there, man. All right, last story.
45% of men 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in person. I think that no man wants to be that guy. One of the key things I think dads have to teach their sons is how to express romantic interest while making the other person feel safe. In addition, I hold big tech responsible for a lot of this. It used to be the sex cells. Now we found out, the algorithms found something better, rage and divisiveness. Yes. But they're trying to convince young men who have, quite frankly, less evolved prefrontal cortex, the gas on, gas off. But why go through the hassle of expressing friendship in the hierarchy of friends when you have Discord and Reddit? Why go through the hassle of putting on a tie, trying to navigate all of this when you think you can trade stocks or crypto on Coinbase or Robinhood? And why, Savannah, would you go through the humiliation, the effort, and the cost of approaching a strange woman when you have lifelike porn?
Because that's the game. That's what we got to start teaching these young boys. That's the game. Going up to her and being like, hey, I think you're cute. What's your number? That's the game. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, who you think misses more work, Rob or Anthony Davis? Clearly Rob. It's not, no question. It's undoubtedly Rob. Rob's already taken time off in January. When are you when are you coming back? The 9th?
I mean, we'll see. It's playing it by ear.
We'll see.
A lot of play-by-ear situation.
We'll see.
Don't worry, management's approved all my time off.
Yeah, your management.
They approve it quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
They have never said no to my request.
You just got to ask yourself, hey, do I want to take today off? Yes, I do.
Today feels like an off day. Management approves.
Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back. And however you like to get in on the action, you can do it on Underdog right now in Missouri. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $75 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Plus, with Underdog's quick payouts, you can get your profits fast. So download the app today and use promo code BOB to score $75 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all on Underdog. Crypto powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involves risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit www.nadex.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules. For Crypto.com predictions, the term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew a Halloween costume would change my life and lead me to Renner Garage Door? Renner's KC's go-to team for service, repair, and replacement.
RENNER, RENNER. Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest, we believe.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like dark mode too. We have lots in store between now and when the new champions are crowned. So log in to BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Missouri only. Existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Having a financial partner who's all in changes everything. It's the difference between hoping for a home and holding the keys. Between dreaming about your own business and actually opening the doors. Between turning what ifs into what's next. At Community America, we're here for every moment, with financial expertise built around every part of your life. Because when you have a financial partner that's invested in every part of you, you can't help but feel like a star. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
My dad was killed by a drunk driver on Thanksgiving. Supposed to go over and I made him a cherry cheesecake.
My father and I were hit by a drunk driver and he was killed. We were driving home from Christmas shopping.
Driving impaired can forever change the holidays.
Just 2 days ago, I caught myself trying to call him.
Christmas is definitely not the same because you know that he's not going to be there.
Always drive sober. A message from the Kansas Department of Transportation and all the victims of impaired driving crashes.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our easy trade-up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Brought to you by Gomer's. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com.
It's holiday cheers time, and Gomer's Fine Wines and Liquors is here for it. With 5 locations, a wide selection, great prices, and friendly service. Gomer's Fine Wines and Liquors, family owned and KC proud since 1969.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working the crash. Cleanup continues. Overland Park, 35 southbound, just past 75th. Right lane blocked. Wrecker is on the scene. They say any minute now that one will be cleared. You're dealing with a crash, 35 northbound, past 18th. Now right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
The only place in town to hear the hypothetical button game is on The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This is our last segment of 2025. The plan really was for us to work through the week. And then the Chiefs, they just ruined the plan. To be completely frank with you, they ruined the plan. So we're off for the next couple of days. The next day that we will be back will be January 5th. We'll be going hard until the Super Bowl. And then, everybody kind of starts taking time off after the Super Bowl. That's just kind of the way that this profession works. Rob, I do want to ask you this question because I don't think I will see you between now and then. Are you expecting Darren Peterson to play on Saturday? Because to me, Saturday is another one of those checkpoints. I feel like with him, we have created he'll for sure play the Duke game. He won't miss conference games. Conference play in the Big 12 starts on Saturday. Are we expecting Darren Peterson to be at these games?
I can only speak for myself. I have no inside info, whatever. I think the first time he plays is the 10th or the 13th of January, which I believe is either West Virginia or Iowa State. I believe it's those two games. I don't know. Bill Self's phrasing in Hawk Talk was, he's close. He looks pretty good, but he's immediate or might be some time. Makes me think UCF is one they don't need him for. TCU at home, probably the same way. I think the 10th or 13th, around a month off, you will start to see him back for conference play. I do think he is playing again this season. I just think it's middle of January.
I do think he's going to play again this season. That one, you got a top 5 team coming into the building. That's a game you should be targeting to try to get him back. I'm with you. You should expect to beat UCF without him. There's certainly enough on Kansas's team to beat UCF. You got TCU at home. The West Virginia game, I think, is a little bit dicey, especially for a team that just can't really shoot it. Like, you go on the road in conference play, you and I both know you can get beat. The other fan base storms the court. That happens. That's going to happen every Saturday in the sport. That home game against Iowa State, you need Darren Peterson there to win that. And that's why when people bring it up, why don't they just shut him down? They don't need him. Man, the goals that KU fans tell me are important, you do not accomplish them without Darren Peterson. All the things that you guys put up banners for, you are not winning the Big 12 if Darren Peterson is not playing. You are not winning the Big 12 conference tournament if he is not there. You are not making a deep run and going to Final Fours and winning the national championship if he is not there. So KU only has one option. Try to get him healthy and try to get him in as many important games as possible. You're not even worried about the seed. I mean, no one thinks KU is going to be an 8 seed in the tournament. So if you end up being a 3 seed or a 5 seed, what does it really matter? As long as Darren Peterson is healthy and can finish games for you in March when it really matters. You'll end up being the dangerous team that nobody wants to play in your region that probably got underseeded, and you're going to have the best player presumably on the floor for all of those games.
We see this 100% the same. I don't know KU, even with Darren, is good enough to win the Big 12 because, man, Arizona's a lot better than I thought. Arizona's really
Texas Tech is better than them without him as well.
I think Texas Tech's probably similar, but with Darren, I would take Kansas over Texas Tech, but they're in the same tier. But you're right. KU without him is probably a 5 or a 6 seed, and they probably win a game and give someone a run for their money in the NCAA tournament. With him, they're a 2 or a 3. So I know it's been annoying for KU fans and probably more annoying for non-KU fans to talk about Darren Peterson since he's played a handful of minutes. They don't do anything special this year if Darren Peterson's on the floor. And I will say, in the handful of times you've seen him play, the Missouri game, the NC State game, like the North Carolina game, you can tell he is different. It's just you haven't seen 40 minutes of it at any point this season.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you'll take a good 25 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's basically the NC State game was. I mean, he played, 21 minutes?
Yeah, and as great as Marvin Council was, you don't win. If Darren Peterson is opting out of that game or can't play in that game, they don't go on the road and beat NC State. They needed his 22 points. Now, you got 40 from Melvin Council, but yeah, you don't win that game without Darren Peterson's 22 points in the first half of the game. Not at all.
100%. I mean, not even trying to the Missouri game. The Missouri game was, a little bit back and forth. KU was a little tight throughout the game. Darren had 17 in 20 minutes.
No, he did. I mean, he was
one of the reasons why that game was comfortable late is Darren Peterson was in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're probably going to blow them out anyway. Missouri stinks.
I wasn't here. What happened against Illinois?
They stink. It's just.
By the way, if you're a K-State fan, you got to be so happy that we don't talk about Jerome Tang's team, who also stinks.
I mean, they're firing their coach, too. Missouri might fire their coach at the end of the season. So might K-State. Might both be looking for a coach. Missouri might honestly be better if they had Jerome Tang. If they switch coaches, Missouri might be in a better spot. Missouri hasn't beaten one decent team all season. We're heading into the first of the year. They don't have one good win. They beat Minnesota at home. I guess that counts. They got Florida Saturday at the crib, though.
You betting on that one being the first good win?
No, I'm not picking Missouri to beat. They might go winless again in the SEC. That's how we had to end the year. We had to end the year with that. I forgot the clock. Had a poor clock of wearing it. Didn't know what was going on. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for making it a great 2025 for the show. We'll be back in 2026, locked and loaded, ready to go, and ready to talk NFL playoffs and college football playoffs as well. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care of yourself. From everybody here at 96.5 The Fan.
Ladies and gentlemen,